Whoops. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Here we are again. I thought I fixed the microphone for the stream, but evidently I did not because it was aiming at my eyeballs instead of at my mouth. So that's just great. Hang on. As you say, I already see chat. I'm pretty sure it's Marie, and it is Marie. Oh, for the love of everything holy and demonic. Both of them. You know what? Watch a little before bed, then contemplate trying to beat this again while trying to fall asleep. Now, Marie, I think we've already talked about this. The Pixel Remaster version of this game is bad for your health. The Crystal Tower is bad for your health. Don't do that to yourself. There's no save points in the final dungeon. It's bad for your health. Don't do that to yourself. That being said, PPSSPP, it takes you back. Literally got that to play one game. Well, if you have the emulator already, and you want to play this version of the game, because I didn't know that the 3D version came out on the PSP at some point. Apparently it did. Okay, cool. So we're playing that version. But yeah, if you're going to play an emulated version where you can save state in the middle of the final dungeon, which I won't be doing, by the way. I won't need that, but I'm built different. No. Yeah, no, I'm not going to need to do save states in the final dungeon because I have a plan for how I want to tackle it. But yeah, Pixel Remaster, maybe. Maybe don't do that to yourself. Although, hang on. Although, from what I understand, I looked up a video of the final boss in the Pixel Remaster version, and apparently, based on the gameplay that I saw, the person was using a bard, so I like that person automatically. And two, the bard in Pixel Remaster is apparently just about as good as they are in this version of the game, which is acceptable in my eyes, but you know. So. Alright. God, I hate cooking in 90-degree weather. It sucks. Sorry, I know that's a non sequitur from what we were just talking about, but like, that was what I was doing before I got here because I needed dinner and I had to cook for like 45 minutes. And there's no AC in the kitchen, so it's like a sauna in there. And I'm dying. Or was dying, anyway. So, yeah, no, not good. Alright, let me put on my little wristband because I already took a drink. And then we will just let this game wash over us. Hold on. Check my volume too. I didn't do, hang on. I think, no, it's a little louder than the other game, so we'll just do that. I didn't do audio checking for this one because I figure it's probably similar to, because like it's another emulated game, right? So it's probably similar to X6, where if I volume mix it similar to how I did X6, it should be fine. But I guess we'll see on the video itself. The volume on this one's a little louder than the volume on the other ones, so OST is a little bit more high quality on this version than it is on the PS1 game. Who knew? Okay. Wristband stays on during streaming. Everything else is all good to go. Let's get started, shall we? No chocobo for my now loading screen. Don't know how I feel about that, but that's alright. I'll get used to it. Okay, you have my attention. Man, 2006 was just the year for Square Enix, wasn't it? They released Final Fantasy XII that year. They released this on the DS that year. Ah, and God, that intro just... grandissimo. Oh, remix of Eternal Wind. Cool 3D animation. Like, you don't understand how hyped that intro got me as a 15-year-old. When the last Final Fantasy game I had played at that point was Final Fantasy II, and I still had no idea what I was doing in that game, so I thought it wasn't very good. This game, by comparison, was just a palate cleanser compared to that. We'll talk about how I feel about this game in relative to Final Fantasy II as we go through the playthrough, but yeah, that opening is really good. How you doing, everybody? My name is Monochromium, and this is Final Fantasy III. At this point in the stream's life cycle, we have played Final Fantasies 1, 2, 13, and 14 up to Shadowbringers, but we will not be playing past Shadowbringers because... Sorry, I have an aversion to 14 now that I've played a good chunk of it. Not going back. Anyway, yeah, so we played a bunch of Final Fantasies, but just in mainline entries alone, which was all I was planning on doing of the series, because, like, if I play one of the side games, to answer your question about when am I going to test my patience with Revenant Wings there, Marie, if I play one of the side games, I kind of have to play them all, and that means I have to play the after years, and if you thought was true of Final Fantasy XIV, God, the after years would make me, like, straight up dry vomit on screen, on stream. Oh my, just, yeah, no, so, like, and then we'd have to play more of the 13 trilogy, and no. I may play it on my own time at some point, but as of right now, I have no intentions to play Revenant Wings, so, it's really tempting, though. That and Crisis Core are both really tempting for me, because I really like 7, I really like 12, and both of those, I actually like both of them pretty good, too. Well, I don't know with Revenant Wings. I like Crisis Core pretty good, too. I've heard some decent things about Revenant Wings, although from what I understand, it's more of a strategy game, which is why I don't touch tactics either, because I'm terrible at strategy games, but, you know. Anyway, about Final Fantasy III, yeah, so it says 2011, 2012 down there, because this is actually the PSP version of the game. There were multiple versions of the game that came out, although the version that came out in Japan on the NES... This game was the last game on the NES in Japan, and it came out in 1990. It didn't come out in the West until 2006, and then it came out on the Nintendo DS as Final Fantasy III, which was confusing probably to some people because we already had Final Fantasy III in the West on the Super Nintendo, though that was actually Final Fantasy VI, and they renamed it to 3 because they had renamed 4 to 2, and they never released 2, 3, or 5. In the way, are you still following? Because I feel like I'm confusing myself right now. But, yeah, and so then what happened, my understanding anyway, the reason why this was released on the PSP shortly before the PSP's lifetime was up is because the Nintendo DS servers were shut down. And so you could not complete all of the quests in the DS version because the MogNet side quest in this game required wireless communication with the DS. No, it wasn't servers. It had something to do with the wireless communication on the DS, because the 3DS had servers that went down. I don't think the regular Nintendo DS had servers. Did it? Maybe it did. Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know. Either way, it had something to do with MogNet, if I recall correctly, why this was released on the PSP. And I think it wasn't a physical release. It was like a digital-only release. I saw somewhere on the internet that this was only released in Japan, but if you plugged it into a PSP that was NTSC, it would just translate itself. I don't think that's true, but it's a fun story, I guess, so. But yes, I don't know why both. That would be my impression, is it had something to do with MogNet. But yeah, this version, you can, in fact, complete all the side quests. We might do that. There's a super boss to beat. I haven't beaten it before. I know how to beat it now. I know some new tech that might actually make it possible at a low level. And by low, I mean like around 60, which is a low level for that super boss. Most of the time, you're expected to go to 80 plus, and we won't be doing that. But we'll see how that goes. I'm getting ahead of myself, though. We have a lot of game to cover before we even get to that point, although this game is probably... I'm expecting about a 12-stream playthrough. It's not really that long of an RPG, but we'll see how it all goes, you know, so... Also, the original Eternal Wind takes you back. Not original, but the one that you know best. Yeah, I know what you mean. Although, if you want the original, and I do mean OG original, like NES sound chip original, the nice thing about the PSP version of this game is that... let me see. I'm actually going to turn those down just a little bit. And, you know, I might turn this up because of that, and we'll see how that sounds. Because this is a lower sounding track, but some of the tracks later get a little louder. So we'll see how that goes. But the nice thing about this version of the game that you didn't get in the DS version is that you can either play the rearranged version of the soundtrack, which is the version you're hearing right now, or you can switch over to the actual, like, OG NES sound chip version of the game's background music. I like both of these almost equally, and I know that sounds bizarre because it's an NES sound chip thing, so why like it? First of all, I like chip tunes, so that kind of automatically helps. Second of all, this game is actually, and I'm going to give a little background before we start playing, I know I'm doing a lot of that. This game is actually the first game that Square Enix released on the NES to use the noise channel on the NES's sound chip to actually use percussion instruments. So Final Fantasy 1 and 2 did not have percussion instruments in their original background music. Final Fantasy 3 does have percussion in its background music. That's why the Pixel Remaster versions of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 do not have percussion as well, because apparently somebody on the dev team didn't realize that was a technology limitation. They said, oh, I'm going to be faithful to the original. It's like, no, you can put some drums into the game that is literally about war, but... That's just me. Anyway, we'll, so here was my thought process with the sound chip, the background music, right? If I was on Twitch, what I would do is I would use channel points for this, so that if you wanted to see switch the BGM, I would just make it a channel point thing. But since we're not on Twitch anymore, I have to get creative with this. So my thought process was, this game features a job system. We'll have a job of the day that you can guess in chat. If you need a list of jobs, let me know. I can provide that for you. We'll have a job of the day that you can guess in chat, and if you guess correctly, you get to pick the BGM for the game. You get to pick between the rearranged and the original, and we use it for, like, the duration of the stream. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet, but that's the thought process anyway. We'll see how that goes. I think for the first one, because we don't really have access to the jobs yet, so... Once we get access to the jobs, like second stream on, we'll do it. But let me know if that sounds like a good idea, and we will roll with it. So, if you use the Touch 4 or anything related to it, it's like Overlord, you think? They had to make Final Fantasy Anthology to try to fix the damn numbers. That's true, they did. What's the aversion to 4? I mean, I've played 4 a couple of times. I think it's just kind of boring to replay, quite honestly. But, I mean, it's not bad to play through once. It's like 18 hours and you're done. Well, it depends on if you want to play the after years or not, or if you feel like you have to. You really don't have to. 4's story is complete on its own. But if you feel like you have to play the after years, then I can see the aversion. So, chiptune is good. I agree. Chiptune is good. The Final Fantasy Prelude hurts you on the inside. And why does it hurt you on the inside? I'll let you answer those 2 questions while I click on New Game. And we finally get started. 35 minutes after when we should have been starting. Never let it be said I'm punctual around here. I saved that for when they're actually paying me, apparently. It's got nothing to do with 4. Didn't look fun when you tried watching it. Wasn't fun when you tried it. Hurts you because nostalgia hurts you. That's fair, actually. Both of those are fair. Whee! Ow. Never mind, not we. What was the... You didn't see the giant gaping hole that was big enough for your entire body to fit through? What do you mean? Oh, I'm just teasing. I actually really like the characters in this one. I know they're mostly blank slates, but if I remember right, Akihiko Yoshida did the artwork for this version of the game, and I love that man's style, okay? It's just like... I have problems sometimes with Tetsuya Nomura because he just puts excessive stuff all over the place with his characters. When it comes to Yoshida, it feels like his designs, there's never a single thing out of place. Everything that he puts on the characters feels either practical or like an accent, but not to the excess that Nomura does. I know that's probably a hot take. A lot of people like Nomura's designs, but like, look at this guy. Nothing is out of place there. He's wearing a vest because he needs it, because it's body armor and he's an adventurer. Well, he's trying to be an adventurer anyway. He's got this cool, like, light purple turtleneck to give him some pop of color a little bit in the background. He's got this, like, bag on his side and with the belt on it. There's just nothing that feels out of place about this. It just feels very clean, you know what I mean? So, that's, I like Yoshida's designs, but yeah, so the main character for this one, well, one of the main characters, is an orphan raised by Nina and Elder Topapa in the village of Adventurous by nature, his curiosity gets the better of him as he tumbles into a hole created by the Great Earthquake. And his name is Luneth, and at least that's the default name anyway. And I'm not really going to change the names, because I feel like the names are... The characters actually have character in this one. It would feel weird to change their names when they actually have some character development. It's not much character development, but by comparison to the 2D versions of this game, the 3D versions of these characters have a little bit of character development, so I'm just going to leave it Luneth. So, hey, Jack Ben, how you doing? What's going on? Not much. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Name yourself Dees. Got him, almost. Yeah. Oh man, I know. If this was the 2D versions, might be a different story, because then we could literally name the first character Dees, the second character Nuts, the third character Got, and the fourth character and then we'd have the whole joke right there, but we don't... This is not the 2D version, and we don't have all 4 characters to start with. So, I apologize, we can't do the joke, but I understand the joke. I do get it. Yeah, that would be awesome. So, if you're following along with this playthrough and playing the Pixel Remaster version... Okay, yeah, that is a little loud. Hold on. Fix that. Is this on 7 still? Yeah. That's a little better. Yeah, if you're following along with this playthrough, but you're playing the Pixel Remaster version, there will be a few things that are a little different, but you could do that if you really choose to with the names. So there you go, because at this point you wouldn't have just one character. You'd have all 4. But we're going to be rocking it solo with Luneth for a little while, so... The monsters give decent gil, though, to start with. Excuse me, apparently those goblins were carrying around 10 gil each. I think I'm used to Final Fantasy XII, though, because I just played it all the way through recently. And the monsters there barely ever drop loot, not loot, but gold. They drop gil. They drop loot for you to sell. So it's like you don't get the same effect because it's one extra step, so. Way more emotional than you were in the past. Yeah, I guess that's fair, yeah. Have to work tomorrow, bow out, but nostalgia's making you want to play this again. Need to get something off of your old laptop. Yeah, like I said before, don't play the Pixel Remaster version because it might not be good for your health. But just because I know how averse the Crystal Tower is to you. So, but yep, sounds like a plan, Marie. Have a good night, get some sleep so you can work. I have to work tomorrow. What the heck am I doing? Anyway, yeah, get some sleep so you can work, and we'll see you on the next one. Well, no, it's not the safest place to be, Luneth, but, you know. Oh, I can use the analog stick. I'm already feeling better than I was in X6 a few days ago. Yesterday. Not a few days ago, yesterday. Because I had to use the D-pad, and I was literally getting blisters on the side of my left thumb because I had to use the D-pad in that action game, so... Played the Pixel Remaster of 1, Kill You, it was awful. Yeah, I think I've said it before, but like, when it comes to the Pixel Remasters, I'm glad that the games are more accessible now for people, but I feel like the only one that's really worth your money is the one for 6. I just like some of the things that they do with the Pixel Remaster of 6 by comparison to other versions of it. Mostly has to do with the Velt, but we'll talk about that when we actually play it, so. Why is Dawn of Souls so much better? It's 20 years older. Good question. Oh, okay, I can talk about this a little bit. So we have levels, traditional levels in this game, kind of similar to Final Fantasy 1, but we also have job levels. So there's a job system in this game, but as you can see, Luneth right now is a freelancer, which is kind of just like the catch-all job. There's no real, like... It doesn't have any specific good things about it. But you can not only raise your traditional level with experience, by making actions, performing actions in battle, you can raise your job level. there's like an experience formula for it, if I remember correctly, but like every certain number of actions in battle, you have an increasing percentage chance of getting a job level from that. I think at one action it's like 0%, and then it goes up like to 1, and then 2, and then 4, and then 8, and it goes up exponentially, if I remember correctly. I could be misremembering, but basically by the time you get to 10 actions in a single battle, you're practically guaranteed to get a job level. I think it's like 99% or something like that. Keep that in mind. We won't be using that anytime soon, but we may be using that in the future at some point, so... Well, what's strange about it, other than the fact that it looks like a shaved walnut, or a shaved... what's the other one? The one that's in those really fancy chocolates that it's like dipped in. I can't remember it. It's not a cashew. I feel like it starts with a C though. I'll remember it in like an hour or two, and then he'll be like, What do you mean?" Before you leave, he looks so freaking bored in his icon. Yeah, I really like that. Honestly, it's like, it just feels like. It feels so much like there's some personality there, you know what I mean? Like, compared to the blank slates that some of the characters were in the OG version of 3, which I have played the OG version of 3, actually. There's personality there that I actually really like. It's another thing about Yoshida. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about the way that the guy's style is. So, yeah. But if you zoom in on the rock there, or any other suspicious objects in the environment, things that look out of place, or candles on the wall, something like that, if it can be interacted with down here, you can actually see a sparkle on it. So, and then you can zoom back out. Usually the game will do that for you. Also, you can sprint. I haven't been sprinting. I don't know why, but you can. So, all right, a better weapon, a longsword. We got a leather shield earlier, but I actually want to not have Lunith equip a shield. And actually, one of the things that I really need to do, it's kind of imperative actually because of how I want to build Lunith later, is stick a weapon in his left hand as soon as possible, because it will actually come in very handy for him to have that later on. Sorry, I forgot which armors we already got. Oh, just a leather shield, okay. But yeah, it's actually really important that I get weapons into, well, at least Lunith's left hand. Ideally both of his hands, but at least Lunith's the left hand, because there's a mechanic that the game hides from you that I'd like to talk about later, and it's the reason why I picked this version of the game, at least the 3D version of the game, versus the Pixel Remaster. So, now that being said, Lunith will go with his right hand first, but that's okay. Like, the characters don't have handedness in this one, or I guess they do, they just specifically use their right hand, because that's the first one that they always attack with, but even if you, even if it is something like that, where he did the final blow with his right hand, he still gets experience, quote-unquote, for his left hand as well, so... But, again, that's getting into a mechanic that is hidden from the player. 1, you can't see that experience, and 2, I haven't even really gone over yet, so we'll talk about it later, when it becomes relevant. It won't be relevant for probably a couple of streams yet. Well, that was a little more damaging than the other guys. Maybe I should go after you first. Alright, first level. Now, the thing about levels in this game is that the only things that you gain out of levels in this game are HP. Well, okay, so you gain stats, but the stats are based on the job that you have, so if you switch to a different job, which we can't do right now, the stats would be the same at any given level as they would be on any other playthrough. The only thing that's variable, and actually also that's true of MP, as you can see there's like 8 rows of MP there. We'll talk about why that is in a little while when we actually get access to magic, but the only thing that's variable in the level up system of this game is HP. You could gain a small amount, you could gain a large amount. That's dependent on your vitality stat. I don't know the exact formula, but the higher your vitality stat, the more HP you gain. And there are certain cases, I think specifically with the super boss of the game later, so really just like endgame cases, where like leveling up on classes that have high vitality for the entire game is beneficial to you. That being said, you'd have to be switching between those jobs like a lot in order to level up in them, because, you know, you'd have to switch jobs every time you want to level up, and the game punishes you for rapid fire switching jobs, so by making it take longer for you to get all your stats back. And if your vitality is lower because you get, we'll talk about this, but there's a mechanic called job adjustment that lowers your stats when you switch jobs. If you keep switching back and forth, your vitality will be lower, and that means you still get less HP from leveling up. So you can't just, oh, I'm almost at a level up, switch to the highest vitality class you have, level up, and then go back. It doesn't really work like that. So. A wellspring, huh? Well, we can find these wellsprings all over, and they'll restore our HP and our MP. They're not necessarily in every dungeon of the game, but when they are, they're a welcome addition. So. Alright, we learned our lesson from last time. Probably a good idea to go after the Eye Fang first. Looks like it deals more damage. And we can one-shot him with these weapons in our hand. I think if it was just the knife, we wouldn't be able to, but probably the longsword by itself will actually, like, one-shot most of these enemies. I think they're hovering at between 10 and 15 HP, so nothing substantial. I mean, the knife one-shot of the goblins, because they only have like 6 or 8 or something like that. So, let's see. Yeah, we still have way too far to go to the next level before I can, like, for me to even be thinking about, okay, well, let's get to level 3 before we go in this door. Nah, let's just go in this door. Or not. They must have heard me. They're like, I heard you want some more experience. Thank you, that's very kind of you. Oh, good, we got a crit. Oh, good, they got a crit. It's turning into SMT in here. Ow. You didn't like my joke. It wasn't a very good joke for what it was worth, but, you know. It's more a joke for my own PTSD from having played Nocturne, quite honestly. So. Well, that sounds a little more ominous. I mean, the cave was ominous, but this sounds ominous in a different way. Ancient ruins, huh? Well, you know what's lying in ancient ruins? Probably ancient evil. Like I said. Whoa, holy crap! Giant turtle! Where'd you come from? So this is a land turtle. You can throw the Antarctic winds we've been getting at him, but I actually want to save these. They're kind of hard to come by in the early game, and they basically cast Blizzara for free, which is really nice to have for later, so I'm going to hold on to them, and we'll just fight him straight up. He probably got pretty good defense. Okay, never mind. But, yeah, we're just going to fight him straight up, and we'll use a potion if we need to, and, I mean, we should be able to get him with just regular attacks. If this was Final Fantasy II, that would not be the case, but this guy's a little less tanky than the land turtles in 2, so that at least is nice. I think I'm going to heal now. I can still take one more hit, but if he crits, I think I'm done, so. And then we'd have to start the whole game over. The thing about this game is that it probably is considered a bit of a downgrade by comparison to the DS version. There's no quick save function in this one. You can only save on the world map, so whatever you're doing, you better make sure you have enough time to do all of it. But that should be fine. I mean, I'm playing this on an emulator, so, like, I'll be able to save state if I really need to. Oh god, Lunith, you cut off his upper lip! Holy hell! Now, I think that just deloads, because that's the part of his model that articulates when he attacks you, so that just deloads when you kill him. It's probably like a way to make it so that the game doesn't slow down, because despawning that when he dies would probably take more processing power. Anyway, we got another level and a job level from that. Very nice. Well, that was a little tough. I actually had to heal, but we got him. I mean, probably if I used an Antarctic wind, I wouldn't have had to heal, but like I said, kind of want to hold on to those. Well, maybe it was Ancient Evil, but also Ancient Mysterious Voices. That sounds about right for Ancient Ruins, too. What do you mean, the Land of Darkness? What does the surface look like? Or are we all living underground here, and this is just another layer? Fancy. I don't know, let's ask it. Yes, it is talking to you. Oh, well that's not good. How will I know when I find them? Oh, I guess I'll just know. I mean, okay, but I have to go back through the kids. Ah, you know, I probably should have expected the crystal would have teleport technology. Ancient ruins, so the tech works better than the stuff in modern day anyway, so. You know, Lunith, I don't know, but I think it's better not to question it right now. Probably better to get off the world map where all the monsters are. Have the monsters spilled out of the cave yet after the earthquake? I'm not sure, but, well, it's an overworld map, so as you might imagine, if I walk around for a second here, he was surprised by monsters being in that cave. But, well, there's monsters out here now, too. And apparently they're back attacking me. That's fun. Can it even damage me from there? Yep, just the one, though. That's okay. And even from the back row, I can knock you out. Oh, I guess I should explain that, because there's a front and back row in this game as well, but it's a little bit different from how it was in Final Fantasy II. In 2, if you were in the back row, you could only damage the enemy with bows and magic, but you could also only be damaged with bows and magic. They changed that in Final Fantasy III because they realized that probably made it pretty easy for you to just designate one person as a tank, give them all the evasion equipment, stick them in the front row, stick everybody else in the back row, and then you would literally never die. So instead of that methodology in this game, the front row deals full melee damage and takes full melee damage from enemies. The back row deals half melee damage, but also takes half melee damage from enemies. So, depending on your job and depending on your armor that you have, it might be more conducive to stick your character in the front row or the back row. Usually, warriors or high melee DPS jobs go in the front, and mages go in the back. But not always. Depends on the job, too, because you may have a job that's melee, but they can use a long-range weapon, so. We'll talk about all that. Don't worry about all that for right now. Just figured I'd mention it since we got back attacked, so. And that changed our row. Oh, I wonder what the hubbub is all about. Man, I left for 5 minutes and everybody's doing stuff. Okay. Gotcha. Didn't know that. I feel like Lunith is just based on like what he's done so far in the game. He's the kind of person that wouldn't really know a lot of these details just because he doesn't think about these things. So, a curse? Oh, that's not good. Well, I better go see what the Elder has to say. He'd yell at me if I went and saw my friends first. I don't think that's actually true, but he would. So. Oh, okay. I'll go do that after I drink from the wellspring. Alright. But yeah, we'll see what the Elder wants, and then we'll go see what my friends are up to, because I'm sure they're doing some shenanigans. Oh, you already know? Man, news travels fast. Yeah, what does that exactly mean for me? Like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, okay, you're just gonna go off on a tangent? That sounds about right. What does me being carried by some random guy who is burnt to a crisp have to do with me being chosen by a crystal? Okay, I guess I'll figure it out later. Thanks for nothing. Anyway. Oh, this is Nina. So this is, well, Lunith's adoptive mother. We've established that he's not, like, from around here. Yeah. So that's his adoptive mother, so. But she did a good job, even if Lunith is sometimes no thoughts head empty. Yeah, I guess I better go see my friends first before we do anything else. Actually, I think one of the NPCs says something else if I talk to them. Yeah. Alright, fine. When did I get designated the leader? Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I want to do that, because I feel like if I do that, I'm just going to forget, and then it's going to be in an important battle, and there will be a bit of a problem with that. I don't know, I don't really use auto battle too much, at least not for right now. Later it might come in handy, though. Oh, again, might want to stay away from that place. Alright, what's all the ruckus over here? Listen, stop picking on him. He don't have to do anything he don't want to do. Because this is Lunith's best friend, damn it. Another orphan raised by Topapa and Lunith's best friend. Hey, there you go. Unlike Lunith, he prefers reading over gambling in the wild. His studies endow him with great knowledge that more than makes up for his shyness. So this is... Alright, so now do you say it Ark or Eric? I always said Eric, almost like Eric, but... Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be Ark as well. Ark the lad. Something like that. Yeah, I always said Eric, so I'm going to say Eric. Like Eric, again. I mean, this could turn into an Aika situation, right, where it's actually probably Aika, and I'm saying it wrong. Well, where are you going? Yeah, I was going to say, the others do. They should know better, but not you. I don't think that's the right way to do this, especially with monsters running around all over the overworld now. Are there potions here in the grass? You do that. I'm going to pick up this potion over here, because, I mean, it's only going to be potions right now. Figures, Eric goes running out of town. He doesn't even bring his spare potion with him. What's he going to do? He's going to get to Kazus, and he's going to, like... I don't know. He's going to be injured, and that's not good. Oh, only those people? I guess it's just an aesthetic thing for everybody else. Huh. Really? Okay, well, again, news seems to travel faster than I do. Apparently they've got potions in this dried up well, so I'll take them. Thank you. It's just so much easier pace, honestly. And I mean, I feel like this is not really something that's out of the norm to say, considering we just got, like, done with a high-octane action game, but... You know, like, it's just such an easier pace to be able to just kind of walk around places like this rather than having to dash around and jump all over the place and do that. And it's not like I'm saying I didn't want to play X6, but this is why I alternate games. Like, I alternate between an RPG, and a non-RPG. Because I get my fill of the fast, high-paced action, and then I can switch over to something where it's just easier on the brain, you know? I can pontificate more. I can talk a little bit more without having to worry about, like, messing up. So, anyway, you give this guy a potion, he'll give you a Phoenix Down. Only one, though. So, you can't just keep doing that, as you can see. So. And there's weapon and armor shops in the town. I'm probably not going to use them. I actually don't need the rest because the wellspring is in the Elder's place. But, hey, free bed never hurts anybody. I also don't think I'm going to grab these just yet because we don't really need them. We do have a lot of money to work with, but we don't really need them at the moment. So, you know what? I'll come up here after because there's another part of town that we can walk to grab a couple of other treasures, and there actually are monsters on the road on the way there. So, I'll come rest at the free inn if need be. So, let's check out the tavern. Lunith's too young to drink, so we're not getting drunk here. So. Oh, well, that's not good. Huh. Sure, why not? I can't guarantee I'll be any good at it, but I'll give it a shot. Well, he got it eventually, I guess. Nah, well, I don't know if that was a yay, like they're bored or something, but whatever. I'll keep that in mind. I don't think I'm going on an adventure just yet. I probably will for the crystal, but I gotta get Eric back first, so. Okay, sure, why not? So yeah, this is the first game in the series that features dancers that you can interact with, and also pianos that you can interact with. 4 and 5 have more, well, 4 has dancers as well. They're a little saucier. Same thing in 5, actually. But 5 also has pianos that you can interact with, so. That was pretty good dancing. Thanks. I think they all do the same dance, every dancer in this game, though, so. I don't know that I'll talk to all of them, but there you go. Whoop. Got my toe stubbed on the door jamb. Couldn't walk out because I was clutching my toe too hard, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think that was Turtles in Time where they did that, if I remember right, so. Yeah, maybe I should have taken him on my adventures with me. I get the idea. I'll go find him. But before I go, that guy said I should take antidotes and eye drops with me, but why would I need antidotes when I can buy Poisona, or Poisona? Something like that, but it removes poison, so. And it's our first magic spell, so I can talk about magic a little bit now. So, the way that magic works in this game, unlike in Final Fantasy II, where you just had MP that you drew from, in Final Fantasy III, you have charges for each level of magic. So, if you want to cast a level 1 spell, you need a magic charge at level 1. If you want to cast a level 2 spell, you need a magic charge at level 2, 3, so on, all that sort of stuff. As you can see right now, we can only cast level 1 magic, but we have 3 charges, so we can cast 3 level 1 magics before we have to rest and replenish those. MP is kind of hard to replenish in this game, if I remember correctly. I don't think there are ethers in this game, so yeah, it's a little tricky to well, not really micromanage, because you can pretty much get away with it without too much. Like, it's really only the early game where it's like, okay, I'm running out of MP, but like, the dungeons aren't that long in the early game either, so usually you don't run out of MP, unless you're just like dilly-dallying, so. Oh, okay, thanks. I'll keep that in mind. Now, Lunith, what's your experience at right now? So you're level 3, 48. Okay. So you'll be just a little ahead of Eric when we get him in our party, so. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering if there's any hidden items in the area, try pressing the L button. If the game does not zoom in, which right now I'm trying to press it and it's not zooming in, there are no hidden items in that area. So, just so you know. Whoa! Tried to take advantage of me while I'm trying to talk about mechanics here, huh? Screw you. Yeah, if you can zoom in, there may be hidden items in the area, so just keep that in mind. Like right here, for example. Another potion. I'll take it. Oh, and the sparkles stick around afterwards for just a little bit, and then they go away. There's only ever one item in a hidden area, so just so you know. Nothing to these goblins. I need a greater challenge. Find the greater challenge later. This game can get pretty hard, depending on the jobs that you choose. The thing about the jobs is that it's kind of like organic difficulty in a way a little bit. You could make the game easier or harder for yourself depending on... Okay, so you see how I can't zoom in anymore? I'm pressing L and it's not zooming in. No hidden items anymore. So, yeah, you can make the game easier or harder on yourself depending on which jobs you choose. So, I'm not exactly 100% sure about the job composition I want my party to be, but I'm raising Lunith as if I am... Like, I'm kind of torn between doing it a certain way that will help with the super boss, or just doing it the way that is, you know, like, just do whatever. But the thing about the party that I have, that I can use to fight the super boss, is that it's kind of an unorthodox party. It's not really what you normally see in this game. Like, a lot of people that play this game on the internet, they use an upgraded white mage, and I'm going to do that too, because it's just the best healing class in the game, really. And they'll use like a summoner, they'll use a ninja, and then they'll use like one other class, and it's kind of up in the air, but usually a melee class of some kind. And so, since that's usually what a lot of people use, or they'll use a magus, which is an upgraded black mage, sorry. Ugh, excuse me. So, but I might use a slightly more unorthodox party. I'll still have an upgraded white mage, but everything else might be a little bit more off, so. What about that candle? Yeah, so if you zoom all the way in, when you see the sparkles, that means there's something fishy about that candle. Right. But it's not a fishy fruit. It's a secret passage! Yeah, so usually when there's like a candle on the wall or a switch on the wall or something like that, it's some kind of secret passageway that you're opening up, so. There's also some antidotes in these pots, so yeah, there you go. You see how the sparkle went away after a little bit? It just despawned faster because we're in a smaller map than we were outside. Outside takes a little longer because there's more map to load, so... Ugh, you'd think I didn't sleep last night or something. I did go golfing today. I walked like 2 miles, so 2.5 almost by the time everything was done. But then I came home, and after I got everything done other than cooking dinner, I conked out and fell asleep for a little while. Did we get any other armor yet? No, not yet. Okay, we'll get it later. So you'd think I would be well rested at this point, but apparently not. It could just be that it's really hot, and so my body is kind of like, yeah, you know, you should probably, like, I don't know, sleep a little more because it's too hot for this crap. Oops. There we go. Alright, well, we'll give Lunith the white magic that we've gotten so far. Not that he's necessarily going to be the one to use it, but we'll give it to him, excuse me, anyway, because then he can do some stuff with it while he's the only one in the party. But yeah, so we could go buy some armor if we really wanted to at the moment, but instead of doing that, let's go rest up at the free inn. And this free inn remains available for quite some time, by the way. It's not quite as available a little later in the game, like next stream to probably stream 4 or 5, something like that, because you don't have easy access to it because it's kind of out of the way on the world map, but beyond that point, it's a pretty easy access free inn, so. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so freelancers are kind of the catch-all job. It's what every character enters the party as, but usually it's not the job that... I mean, you can beat the game with just freelancers. It's tough, but you can do it. But it's probably not the intended way to beat the game. So. Oh, did you now? You also could have slept like a rock, but rocks in this game, the party has an interesting relationship with rocks in this game. Sometimes they're helpful, sometimes you blow them up. So. But anyway, we're done in town for now. We can buy some stuff for later, but we'll hold off on doing that till we get a little bit more of a rounded party. Like, getting Eric back would be a good start. So. Okay, good. Well, we got save data and system data. Oh yeah, and there's more stuff in the configuration menu now other than what we had there. So yeah, there's the regular configuration menu, which you can see on the main menu of the game, the title screen menu. And then there's config 1, which is specific to each play file. So the text speed is fine the way that it is. I'm going to set the cursor to memorize because I just feel like that'll be a little easier for me. And then I'll just use default move as walk because that's what you have to do on the world map anyway, so it just makes sense. But you could also do it where the default movement in towns and in dungeons and stuff is run, and then if you held down, so like if I'm in town and I hold down the circle button, I can run. But you could make it so that it's opposite, where you run normally and then you hold down the circle button and you can walk. There's no platforming or anything that you need to do in this game though, so it's not like you need to walk in any particular situation. Sometimes I just walk for the heck of it though. Getting pretty good with the sword and knife combo there, Lou. Somebody might think you're doing like European style rapier Mengosh type of a thing. It's not exactly a thrusting sword though, so. Alright, well anyway, I just wanted to get into one battle before we went into town. No specific reason for it, but just because. Well, he's here. He hasn't gone into town yet, though. Gotcha. Sorry, buddy. But, what are you doing? You don't have to prove anything to those kids. Okay. Sure, why not? I mean, worst comes to worst, I'd have to take you into town. So does that mean that the Elder already told you what I'm up to? I guess so. But anyway, we got our second party member, Eric. So it's good, a couple of best friends to join each other on the road. At least they'll keep each other company. Is there... No, not here, I don't think. No, because I can't zoom in. There are some hidden items on the map here, though, and we have to go between these trees to go find them. So, none here, though. Ah, There we go. Yep, one right here. A mithril helm. So this is better than any helmet that you can get for basically from now until, and there's a staff over here, from now until after you beat the first major boss. So, and that's still like an hour away. So definitely well worth the effort. It's basically the armor you would have once you beat the first major boss. Now you might think, well, Luneth's got 2 weapons, so you're going to give that to him. Actually, I'm going to give it to Eric, because if Eric ends up leveling up the way that I think I'm going to level him up, he's going to be a little bit more defensive, we'll say. I'm going to give him a dagger too, actually. We'll give you both the long swords because you had those in the intro, so we'll give you those for now. And actually, I'm going to give you the leather shield as well, so there we go. So Eric's a little more defensive. We can leave him in the front row for now, because I'm not planning on having either him or Luneth learn any magic, but well, Luneth's got the magic for now, just in case. And we can always pass it around as well. So like if I go to the magic menu here, I can actually exchange the magic that I have, all of the magic. It'll exchange your entire spell list between Luneth and Eric. So like if I do that, it gives all the spells to Eric. So if you want, like if Luneth runs out of MP and you've still got slots for other people to cast magic, you can always just hand it off to somebody and then they can cast it. Which does come in handy because, like, for now, while we're all freelancers, it's like, why leave these on just one person, you know what I mean? You've got MP on other people, let them do the healing. So. Oh good, another wellspring. I'll take it. Well, they said there's a curse in town, and I mean, the music kind of says that, but what kind of a curse could they possibly be talking about? Why can I see through you? Well, I can understand that. You're basically invisible, other than your outline. Is that Jimmy's outline? Sure is. Let's sell it back to him. But yeah, they won't sell you any items, basically, for right now, because they're all ghosts. They're not actually invisible, they're just ghosts. The Jinn cursed them, the entire town. Well, don't fret about it. I mean, you're gonna increase your heart rate if you keep that up. Think of your blood pressure. So I guess the curse was real. Wow, color me surprised. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see why that would happen. Yeah. Unfortunately for us, the Mithril Mines for right now is just a little bit too difficult with just the 2 of us. That being said, it's actually not even the place you're supposed to go. The game will tell you where you're supposed to go, but you can't actually collect up any regular Mithril for right now from the cave, so yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not exactly what I would have wanted to see. It doesn't make for a good brochure highlight, for sure, you know? I mean, I guess so. If I've been chosen by the crystal, that probably means I'm supposed to help people, right? So, an airship this early? Wow. That was fast. Took me a while to get it in the past couple of games. Didn't even get one in 13, actually. Well, technically you do have that one ship that Bartandalus gives you in Chapter 11, but you don't use it like an airship, so. Oh, that could be a bit of a problem then, yeah. So, we gotta lift the curse of the Jinn. We also have to find the blacksmith's daughter, or, you know, do something about that, because somebody's got to figure out how to make this mithril so these people can be fine. I guess the storehouse had a potion. Or not storehouse, the bar. Wonder if that means the potions in this game are, like, canonically alcohol. I mean, you make them from alcohol in other games, if I remember right, so. Oh, I'll have to keep an eye out for that mithril ring, then. Oh, yeah, I could see that being a bit of a problem. Wasn't that long ago, though. Maybe she ran off. You know, that's possible. If she does, that would make things a lot easier. We can go find her. We could also sleep here for free, if I remember correctly. It may cost money later, I'm not sure. No, I think once you save the town, they're like, you can sleep here for free. But, well, we're not going to do that just yet, so. There's nothing this way, is there? No, okay. We don't need to do that because we use the wellspring, so, yeah. Oh, okay. You know, that's fair. You can't exactly hold a hammer if you're ethereal, so Well, let's see if we can find her. She's not hiding around the corner, but maybe we'll see her at some point. But yeah, the mithril mines are actually in here, but as I said previously, just a little too difficult for us at this point in the game, so... well, I can zoom in here, but I don't think there's any items to be had around here. No, because it zooms us out there, so... It's not always like a one-to-one. There's a hidden item here so you can zoom in type of thing. Sometimes it just lets you zoom in for fun. So I guess I shouldn't have made it sound like, yeah, you know, that's what it is. It's not. Anyway, Sid said his airship is to the west in this desert, so just walk right in. Ah, the airship music. I love this track. It was stuck in my head earlier today. Actually, it's been stuck in my head since I decided this was going to be my project to play. I literally, like, I was like, trying to figure out the project, and the problem was, I was like, okay, well, I could play Final Fantasy XII. I was already playing it, so it would make sense to do that. But it's on the PS5, and it's been 90-something degrees out, like, every day. So turning the PS5 on and the recording software would be turning my room into a furnace, basically, even with the air conditioner on, so that was right out. In the Switch's case, there's only a couple of RPGs that I actually want to play on the system, so that was kind of out. And so I was left with, okay, PC game or PC emulator game, and I was like, you know, let me see if I want to play Final Fantasy III. I'm not sure yet, but let me see. I literally booted it up, and the opening played, and I was like, this was the right decision. So. Now, what do you suppose you're doing here, young lady? Stowaways are... Well, I don't actually know how King Sasune feels about stowaways in this kingdom. I don't know if there are too many, but, you know. Yeah, what are you up to? Well, as it turns out, we found our runaway, because this is Refia, the runaway from Kazus. Raised in Kazus by the mithril smith Taka, it makes it sound like she's not, like, she's not his daughter. Anyway. Whose rigorous training, led her to run away from home. Again, apparently this is a recurring problem. Oh, did you now? Okay. So maybe Sid was there to get like a refit on his airship, and then the valley got blocked because of the earthquake, and then the curse happened, so... Yeah, can you help us with that? It would make things a little bit easier on us. Weren't you two even listening? I'm a blacksmith, not a goldsmith. I can't make rings. Well, yeah, anyway, she did not study far enough to make mithril rings, which is a little unfortunate. Oh, but she does know where you can get one. Alright, cool. Oh, okay. Well, you know, I feel like that would probably only help us, right? I don't know if that's the help I was thinking, but sure, why not? We'll go with that. And we get our third party member, Refia. All of these party members will be around for a while, so just, and by that I mean the rest of the game, so yeah, they're basically permanent. So don't worry about it, they're not gonna leave. Well, okay. If you try to go back into Kazus before you free the town of the curse, Refia says, I can't go in there because I can't face my father while he's a ghost. Sorry, but can you do this without me? And so then she'll leave your party. So you can't go into the mithril mines with her until the curse is freed, like, the town's freed of the curse, but yeah, she'll eventually join back up with us. Just not, like, when you go into the town, just not yet. Oh, I didn't give you Eric's leather cap, so there we go. As far as Refia goes, I want her, when the job that I want her to switch to uses staves as their main weapon, but we don't have any magic that she can use offensively yet, so the staff isn't really a good choice for her just yet. Although we don't really have much of anything else either. I guess I could give Lunith one of the knives and give her the longsword for now. And then, yeah, we can go with this for a little while. But we'll leave her in the front row. For the most part, for freelancers, it's probably better to leave them in the front row because they just do decent physical damage as well. They can learn some magic, but they're kind of limited in that department, so... Ah! Raising the airship from the desert, just like old times. But we already have an airship, and it's only been like 25 minutes, half an hour, so there we go. Now, we could go to Sasune Castle, which is to the west there, but before we go there, let's go back to the Sealed Cave real quick. Or not the Sealed Cave, but the cave north of What's it called? The Cave of Altar Cave, that's what it's called. I forgot. Because there's a couple of treasures that we can grab on the first and second floor that we did not grab with Lunith on our way through the first time. And the experience will actually benefit us because the next character that we're going to get for our party is level 4. So since all of us are level 3, it's probably better for us to go grab this stuff now. Plus it'll give us a little extra armor that we can use for, like, actually kitting ourselves out. And then we'll kind of have a better idea of what armor we have and what armor we don't, so then we can fill it out by going to the shop. There's another leather cap. Don't think I'll need one of those, because I think everybody other than Lunith comes with one, so... Now, what I'm going to do, actually, because job actions, it's not really dependent on the specific action you take in battle. So, like, if you use... You don't get more job experience for doing attack, for example, as you do for using magic or guarding or any of that sort of stuff. As far as I'm aware, it's fixed. So, but there are certain moves that have increased priority, almost like quick attack in a Pokemon game, right? Guard is one of those moves. So if you have the people that you're not planning on attack guard, they'll get a credit for a job action in that battle, even if they don't actually attack. So like if you're fighting one enemy and one of your characters can handle them by themselves, it might be better to have all the other characters guard, because then they'll still get, well, job experience that way. So, oh, bronze bracers, good. We didn't have those. That's arm equipment, so... I probably should give those to Lunith because he has the lowest defense right now, but I'll give them to Eric. So he's pretty good on armor for... Actually, he's probably pretty good on everything for quite a while here. Dagger, leather, shield, mithril helm. This is probably going to be his armor set until we beat the first major boss. And I'll probably leave him on the dagger just for the heck of it. Because, well, you know, actually he could do dagger and knife now that I think about it. But probably both of those would be decent for him. So, you know, I'm going to do that while I'm thinking about it. So let's do dagger and knife, and we'll give... I guess we'll give Refia the shield in this case. She doesn't really need it, because she's not going to be able to equip it on the job I want to have her in, but yeah. But yeah, so the second floor of Altar Cave is where all of the tougher enemies are. So, whoops, I actually don't want you to guard in this case. You can guard, though. But yeah, the tougher enemies that were on the... through the door, or not the door, I think there was a staircase, actually. The tougher enemies are on this floor, so... Basically, if you're looking for a little more experience for your party members, you can go down here. It's not much, and I think if I remember right, it gets distributed evenly across your party, so like, we would have gotten probably 5 for that battle with Lunith, but we got 2 for everybody for having 3 characters, so... But that's okay. It'll help a little bit. Well, there's our first black magic spell, along with some more bronze bracers. The sleep spell, and I'm actually going to give that to Refia in just a second. Let's give Lunith the bronze bracers. There we go. Sleep, along with most status conditions, I don't usually use it all that much in this game, quite honestly. Like, status conditions in 2 were really good, but this game kind of follows more in the... Well, I guess status buffs, anyway, were pretty good in Final Fantasy 1 as well, but this... And sleep was pretty good in the early game in 1, actually, so maybe not. I was going to say, this game follows more in the footsteps of 1, where status effects aren't particularly good, but sleep was pretty good in 1, so... If you fall down that hole, you'll end up back near the bottom of the cave, and then you'll have to, like, find your way back out by going to the crystal, so let's not do that. But in terms of who to have do the actual fighting for right now, it doesn't particularly matter too much, but in my case, the way that I want to build the characters, I want Lunith to be attacking every single battle at least once, because he needs to attack as much as humanly possible, basically, so... There's a reason for that. We'll talk about it later. So, another longsword here. There was bronze knuckles in that other chest that was there. That's actually the strongest weapon you can get before you fight the first boss. So, it gives like 12 attack, if I remember correctly. And it's usually it's like a monk weapon because it's a fist weapon, but we don't have access to a monk right now. So, although if you were playing the 2D version of the game, I think you'd already have the first set of jobs as of right now. So. Or do you only get that after you beat the first boss in the 2D versions? I don't know. Either way, I think you'd have access to it, but if you don't, I guess, well, you don't. Either way, you can still equip the bronze knuckles on freelancers or any other class that can use them. I'm going to wait to equip them, though, because we don't particularly need them for right now, basically. Like, the only things we're going to be fighting out in the world map for now are goblins, so I don't think I'll need to use those. And it's probably better to equip 2 bronze knuckles anyway, because then you've got them in both, one in each hand. So, yeah, we heard about that in town. Well, maybe we didn't hear about it for Castle Sasune, but yeah, the same curse that the Jin used on the town of Kazus, he's also used on the castle, which is deeply unfortunate, because I don't know if that means that the king's mithril ring... Well, I mean, I guess it would still work if we'd just have to be the one to use it instead of the king, but, you know. Fair question, but the king might have one. Yeah. We gotta be big, fat, brave heroes here, because we've been... Well, one of us has been blessed by the crystal anyway. I don't think the crystal says anything new if you bring Erkin Refia down to it, so... Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks. Well, let's just follow this knight over to the king and see what he's got to say about all this. There is more stuff that you can explore in the castle, but if I remember correctly, the towers are blocked off for right now, so we might as well just go see the king first. It'll only take like 2 minutes, and then we'll have free reign of the castle, so... We can talk to the NPCs on the way, though. Well, we think we know, but we'll let you know about that. Yeah, fair enough. Well, hopefully somebody takes care of that problem, although I get the feeling that somebody is going to be me. Quite a lot of stairs to get up to the throne room. I guess it is a castle. It's got to be pretty big. So. Well. Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind, because we can use some magic to harm them. Although it's probably better to just use Cure to heal for now, because, well, you only have limited charges of it, so... And your charges are very limited because we're low level, so... Oh, okay. I'll keep that in mind. Excuse me. It might be worth going and grabbing the White Slayer, then. Deal some big damage. Oh, okay. So I guess this guy... must have... He said he was gone. He went somewhere. And, I guess everybody got cursed while he was away. That's the idea. Of course she did. It's like breadcrumb trail or something here. Oh, yeah, that could be a bit of a problem. So, so basically all our answers lie in the sealed cave. Alright, well... We'll have to go there, then. We're a little low level for it at the moment. It's probably better to go there at like level 5 or 6, but we'll worry about that later. So. Oh, okay. Well, that would make it a little easier. More party members and all that. So our 4th party member, a loyal soldier of King Sasune's army. He narrowly escaped the Jin's curse. His prime concern is finding the missing Princess Sarah. I probably will say Ignis at some point, but his name is Ingus, so... Dingus. Anyway. Yeah, so he's our 4th party member, and he's going to come with us. I mean, listen, I'm not even planning on giving him a sword, but okay, fair enough. And, yeah, he's our 4th and final party member, so there you go. So these 4 will be with us for the remainder of the game, although, you know, maybe once we find the princess, Angus may decide, you know what, I'm going to stay around here, so maybe it's going to be a short game, I don't know. The skeleton key, huh? Why did you say it like that? I guess we'll figure it out when we get there. But yeah, Angus starts at level 4, so he's a little stronger than your actual party. I think Lunith is the only one that's close to him. Yeah, not even by that close of a margin anyway. He starts at level 4 exactly, so like Lunith is 48 experience behind him, basically. He's got a little bit of extra magic, a little bit of extra HP, but not too much, and everybody else will catch up pretty quickly, so it won't even matter in the grand scheme of things. Let's see. How do I want to do this with you? Well, I'm going to give him 2 bronze knuckles, but we only have the 1 for right now. We don't have any bronze bracers for him, so... Probably going to need to buy a couple of those. It would probably make more sense, actually, if I gave him the bronze bracers, because he already has them in his character model, but we can buy some in so we'll do that. There's some treasure chests in the actual, like, castle here, but we can't find them from where we're at right now, unless we go through, excuse me, Wall, a secret passage! I promise I won't always be quoting H.C. Bailey. It's just one of those things that comes to mind when we're here specifically. All right, nothing there. So yeah, just that one for there for right now. I don't think there's anything here. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, well, let's go downstairs then. And I have to go turn on the whatchamajiggy in a minute, the actual light in my room, because I did the thing I did yesterday again, where I left the light off to try to keep things cooler in here. But it is almost officially nighttime outside now, so. Wow, they just leave 2,000 gil lying around in here. Don't mind if I do. Not that there's that much stuff to buy right now, but there you go. So that's not a wellspring down there, I don't think. I mean, it's water in the basement of a castle. It's probably a little stagnant. I don't think I'd want to drink that. So, oh, let me do this though. We have Cure and Poisona here, so let me actually exchange these over to Ingus, because he's the one that I'm planning on having cast the white magic in the party, whereas Refia is the one I'm having planning to have cast the black magic, at least for now, anyway. Whoop, we didn't go up those stairs yet. Let's go up here, because there's a couple of nice treasures to find here, too. Another leather shield. I guess that's not bad. The blizzard spell, that's really nice, actually, because as it turns out, like, the undead enemies are weak to curative magic and holy weapons and that sort of a thing, but the Djinn himself is weak to blizzard, so that will be very helpful for Refia, so let's give that to her. There we go. I may have to rearrange some things in here as well. Let me, can I just do that here? I mean, I guess I can just remove sleep and remove Poisona, then learn them like that. So that way, the more used, the spell I use more often is closer to the front, you know? I don't think you can sort them while they're in your actual, like, magic inventory, but once you stick them in your pack, you can sort them. That being said, there's another crack in the wall right here, so we can go, well, outside of the map till we hit a wall here, go this way, and grab another set of bronze knuckles for Ingus. So there we go. Whoops. Gotta stick those in the other hand. There we go. So he's got the most attack for now. He doesn't have a really high job level, so he's not going to be punching like a crazy person just yet, but he might be punching for a little bit, so we'll see. Hey, Cephiko, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, Secret Passage! I was already quoting that a couple of times, actually, while I was at it here. Can't not, you know what I mean? It's just such an iconic line from H.C. Bailey, and he was a big inspiration, so I gotta. But how you doing? Welcome back. We are in the 3D version of Final Fantasy III. I actually like this version better than the 2D versions, personally. It's pixel remaster included, so decided this would be the one to play. And this is the PSP version of the 3D version of Final Fantasy III. So, but we just got our 4th permanent party member, and, well, we have to go to the Sealed Cave next, but we're not nearly strong enough for that. We need a couple of levels and some better gear. I gotta actually fill out my entire, equipment department. I just bumped the pop filter. And, yeah, we'll fill out our inventory with some good items before we head all the way up there, so. Had the 3DS version, or was it DS? It was the DS version, but you could play it on the 3DS, so I get what you mean, yeah. But yeah, if you had tried to go up the towers earlier, I don't think you'd be able to go up because they would be locked, because Ingus wasn't in your party. But now that he's in your party, you can actually go up the tower, so yeah, there you go. And again, this differs from the 2D versions, because in the 2D versions, these characters don't have names or like faces of their own, basically. And you already have all 4 of them before you even get to the castle, so there you go. Got some arrows there, but no bow. Oh, wonder where he was. I don't think they ever tell you where he was, actually, now that I think about it, but... Well, we can raid her storeroom for more arrows, a potion, and finally, a bow. There are only a few more games in the series where bows are used as equipable weapons, and as it turns out, in this game, bows are pretty good. So we're going to equip one, and we're going to equip the holy arrows right now. And probably what I'll do is I'll probably give Refia a bow, another one, and I'll probably give her, because there's more holy arrows to be found in the western tower, so I'll probably give her that one. So think your voice matured since you were here last? Must have grown a little. Maybe my voice is just getting more gravelly as I get older. I don't know. More testosterone? I was told I'm past my prime, so I wouldn't have more testosterone to access anymore. One more year and it's all downhill from there, apparently. That's what I've been told, anyway. I mean, really, like, it's not even that I've been told that. It's that I know that there's DNA methylation going on in my system that, well, okay, DNA methylation is a normal thing. This is a dietetics thing, a nutrition thing, but DNA methylation is a normal thing that happens to your DNA. It's just that when you talk about DNA methylation when it comes to aging, usually what that talks about is, like, the function of your cells, and it's not good for the function of your cells. Holy moly. 30s are your prime. See, I heard 28 to 33 was your prime. That was what I was always told, and I'm past that at this point by the margin of about a year or so. A little more then. Well, we could go and get another bow by going all the way back to and buying it. Or we could go into the Western Tower and immediately get attacked by a bunch of Dark Eyes, so that's just great. But we'll take them on for a little bit. I'm going to use Blizzard, actually, because if I remember right, I can one-shot with it. Maybe not at level 3, but at level 4, probably. And then we'll just punch. Well, that was pretty good. But yeah, these guys hit pretty hard, at least for this point. That was like 16% of my max HP. The nutritionist has confirmed that you're past your prime. Well, again, take my words with a grain of salt. Yeah, a grain of salt to add to your dust pile, right? Take my words with a grain of salt, because I'm not, like, an official registered dietitian for a couple more years yet, but we'll see. It's one of those things we talked about in my life cycle class, and it was like, oh, okay, well, I guess in another year I'm screwed, right? But I guess I'm not that screwed. It's fine, you know. It's just certain things won't work quite as well as they used to. But yeah, apparently there's zombies and stuff in the Western Watchtower as well. Although I think these guys still go down to 1 Blizzard. I could probably also cast Cure on them, but I'm gonna save the cures for myself. Selfish like that. I probably should have had Lunith and Ingus attack the zombie on the right, actually, because, I was gonna say, Refia probably doesn't need all the extra health. Yeah, but Eric does. Well, that was a little damage, but at least they're spreading it out. Kind of want to keep my arrows if I can, but it's fine. And then we'll just have you attack and you guard. Give everybody participation credit. Nice. Okay. But yeah, if you don't equip the bow in the left hand, you don't get a finishing animation for the bow. Like, he does the spinning animation with the swords and stuff in his hand and the knives. You can get finishing animations when you strike the final blow on an enemy in any battle in this game. But if you don't equip the bow in the left hand, it won't tell you that it's he won't do that, like, pull-back shot that he just did unless the bow's in your left hand. If it's in your right hand, it won't do that, so. Which, if I remember right, is how that normally works with bows in real life. You don't, well, equip, quote-unquote, them in the hand that is your dominant hand. You equip them in your offhand, so. Excuse me, and use the arrows in your dominant hand, so. But yeah, the enemies here give good experience compared to the 1 or 2 or 3 that we were getting elsewhere, so that'll help us a little bit, and everybody can gain some levels and job levels and all that, so. Yeah, Zamboys! That's what we're fighting right now there, Chris. How you doing? Welcome back. We are just starting Final Fantasy III not too long ago. About an hour in, we haven't quite gotten access to the job system yet, but we have freelancers, we have 4 party members, and they're not quite fully kitted out yet, but we're getting there, so. More wooden arrows. Wow, rude. I'll see what's in this chest in a moment, I guess. Okay, so we learned our lesson last time. Have Eric attack over here. We'll have Refia do that. We'll see if he goes faster than her, but these two should be able to take out... Well, maybe they won't, but maybe they will. Take out the zombie themselves. That will be enough, though. And again, I could have Ingus cast Cure, but... Sorry, every time I say the word Ingus, it just makes me think of Dingus, and Dingus. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I'm Polish, so, like, half Polish anyway. So, like, Dingus Day is literally a thing that we used to do every year. Like, Like, I don't know why it's so funny to me. I'm half Polish and half Italian, so there you go. That's where family history comes from. More holy arrows. So here's the thing with the arrows, is they stack in your inventory, right? So right now there's 60 wooden arrows in my inventory. If I gave Lunith, or if I unequipped Lunith with the holy arrows that he's got, they would just stack up in my inventory. So you can't split them evenly between your party members if you do that. So if I want to give Refia a bow, and have her equip these holy arrows to have 2 people using the holy arrows, I would need to keep these in my inventory, not give them to Lunith, and then give them to Lunith later, or not give them to Lunith, give them to Refia later when she gets a bow. So, speaking of which, what the heck am I doing? Lunith's got a bow. He can go in the back row now. So, there we go. It's Schmingus Dingus. Yeah, there you go. Schmingus Dingus. Holy arrows, Batman. Yeah, really. Polish, but you can't spell it. Okay, fair enough. Zemingus or something? Oh, okay, gotcha. It's surprising how much SZ happens with a lot of Polish stuff. I guess it's not that surprising because, like, a lot of Polish names, there's like 4 consonants directly next to each other. But I guess like that, well, that's actually 6 consonants right next to each other, but there you go. But I don't have, like, one of those long Polish names, though. It's like one of the shorter ones, but... well, you know. Either way, let's open this chest. But this chest has a monster inside of it. Monster in a box. It's a griffin. He's a little tricky at this point, but we should be able to take him, so... should I equip the wooden arrows instead? I don't think he's holy... like, I don't think he's weak to holy elements, so I'm going to equip the wooden arrow. Oh, you know, I just did that, and I shouldn't have done that. Because now all the arrows are stacked in my inventory, like I just said. Well, I guess Refia is not getting a bow. Whoops. I guess we can give her a bow and wooden arrows, because I'll only really have her attacking when she doesn't have any, like... well, yeah, no, actually, because the wooden arrows went on Lunith, and there we go, so... ow! Well, that hurt a little bit. I probably should have had her actually using Blizzard now that I think about it, but... it should be fine. I guess Guard, Eric, it probably won't help you, but... yeah, use... oh, I don't have Blizzards. That's why I didn't use Blizzard. Well, let's cast the Cure-All. Hope that it's enough. Nice. Didn't quite KO. Alright, can one of you other 2 go? There we go, thank you. Before the Griffin goes. Has a long Polish name. Yeah, so you know the struggle that a lot of Polish people have then, as a result. Yeah, you're still a little low on HP there, Eric, so why don't you do that? I probably could have gone back and, like, healed at the bed before going all the way to the top of the tower, considering I was a little low on charges, MP charges, but, you know, that's fine. Oh, it's 11 letters long? Yeah, definitely a long Polish name then, holy. Alright, we got him. Good. Everybody got 3 turns out of that. Or was it 4? I don't know. Wasn't paying attention. Schmingus wouldn't happen to have any relation to a certain Biggest Dickus, would he? I don't know, maybe. Oh, you're doomed. Blizzard activated your inner Deltarune fan? Oh, okay, gotcha. I have not played Deltarune, so I wouldn't know. But, hey, that's okay. This is a safe space, Chris. It's fine. Well, we got a White Slayer out of that chest. I think I could have equipped it in the battle, but I chose not to, I guess. So, you're going to be good because now all my holy arrows are on one person, so that's fine. We'll have you do that. And then, I actually need a leather armor. We didn't get another one. I figured we would, but, well, your vest is only going to last you so long. Who do I want to give the White Slayer to? I guess I could give it to Refia since she's kind of got the sword and board thing going on. So we'll give it to her. We'll leave the Bronze Knuckles on you. I should probably get you another dagger if I can, or just give you 2 long swords, because that would be a little more damage than you're currently doing. I guess it's only 3 more, so it's not really that critical. We'll leave it the way that it is for now, and we'll go from there. Alright, now we just got to get off this tower. Might be a tougher thing than it might sound like at the moment, but we'll see what we can do. Let's see. Yeah, just attack with... well, no. Actually, why don't you attack here? Refia, you do that, and then you do that, because you 2 can handle the 1 Dark Eye yourselves, so... nice. Don't even have to cast Blizzard when I've got all that damage. And also, we're starting to hit twice with each character, so that's kind of nice. Just say it's a reference to this game, or kind of a game, or this kind of game, at least. Oh, okay, gotcha. That doesn't really clear it up for me, but I'll, I'll take your word for it. But it's a reference to RPGs, basically, is what you're saying, kind of. Eric, you didn't really have to attack last time, so let's just have you defend this time, and then you can do that, and you can do that, and we'll see if the zombies last long enough. They might. That was good damage right there. Barely even needed Lunith to do anything. Okay, well, so Eric is going to need to attack when it's zombies because they have a little more HP. Can he do it himself? I just kind of want to see. Hold on. Like, from where Refia left it, anyway. Well, he can if he starts hitting with 2 times with each hand. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, because Toby Fox. So, yeah, that would make sense then, because he's big on the RPGs. So, oh, they dropped a high potion for me. That's nice. Enemies will sometimes drop items that you won't get access to for quite some time in this game, so drops can be worth it if you can get them without them being, like, obnoxious to drop. That being said, eventually we'll be able to steal items as well, because we've avoided stealing in pretty much every single one of the Final Fantasies I've played so far, but stealing mechanics are in this game, and we will be dealing with them. I say that like it's ominous, but it's actually not that big of a deal. Actually, stealing in this game is pretty good. We'll talk about it, but we don't have access to steal yet, so. It's interesting, though, because, like, in terms of the games where you can steal, I'm trying to think of how I feel about this game's steal mechanics relative to other stealing mechanics in Final Fantasy games, and, I don't know, I feel like in this game it's actually pretty good. I mean, it starts out bad, because, you know, you have to increase your job levels to get good at stealing, because you're, you know, thief is a class in this game, basically. It's one of the jobs. And so you wouldn't be good at stealing if you're not a high job level thief, obviously. But as you get better at it, you get better items. So it's just a matter of raising your job level. And eventually, like, once you get up into, like, the job level 30-ish, if I remember correctly, you can steal some pretty good stuff, like Antarctic Winds and the other ones that I'm... Well, actually, I think the one for Fyra is a bomb fragment, and the one for Thundara is a Zeus's Wrath. But yeah, you can steal some pretty good stuff, so cast some pretty good attacks, and that actually benefits very much so one of the other classes that we'll have access to later on in the game that I am a big fan of, and it is a Dark Horse. It's probably the best magic DPS in this game, but boy, do people sleep on it. I don't know if it's going to be in my party yet, though. I got to figure that part out. I haven't fully figured out the jobs that I'm going to actually use in this game yet, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, grabby hands keep the healing stockpile stocked, yep. Because for the most part, 80% of the items you'll be getting until job level 30 are just potions. Now, we have 4 party members, so the Mithril Mines would be doable at this point, but as we said before, Refia can't go into Kazus right now because her father's still the ghost, so she doesn't want to face him like that. So we won't go there until after we've dealt with the ghost problem. And then, and I don't mean that, by that, I don't mean killing her father, obviously. If you weren't here before this, the town has been cursed by the Jinn, who lives in the sealed cave, to all be ghosts, and so in order to lift the curse, we have to kill the Jinn and seal him away. So that's the plan. Let's heal up at the wellspring real quick. We'll finally do our shopping that we didn't do earlier, and then we'll go from there. So... Alright, so we don't need a bow. What do we need? Let me see what we've got in here. I probably should just give you 2 longswords. I'm going to hold on to the dagger, though, because if I remember correctly, he'll need it later on for the class that I want him to use. And it's actually funny because Refia, like this, makes it seem like I'm going to have her on a different class than the one I'm planning on having her be on, but we'll hold on to the staff, too, just in case. Alright, we need 2 bronze bracers, 1 leather armor, and I think we're good for weapons, honestly. As a matter of fact, it might even be more imperative to do this. Because, like, I mean, we don't really need huge defense, and the leather shield really only gives us 2 extra defense. Although, I guess the status ailment protection isn't bad. I think some of the enemies can inflict blind, so... Might not be an awful idea. Now that I think about it, it might be even a better idea to give it to Eric, because then I don't have to heal blind all that much, but... Yeah, so we'll get 1 leather armor. And we'll get 2 bronze bracers, because we won't get more of those, so... Although I think they'll be outclassed pretty soon, like once we beat the Jinn, but you do need a little bit of extra defense in order to beat the Jinn, so yeah. Killing the ghost to death? Yeah, nice idea. We'll just make him re-dead. Something like that. But yeah, you know, well, actually, you know who it would actually benefit the most to have a shield is Ingus, because he's got the white magic, so he would be better off to have access to the shield for protection against status ailments. So let's give him the shield, and we'll give Refia the 2 bronze knuckles. How about that? Ingus has the bronze bracers, so not the bronze bracers, but like he has actual like bracers on his character model. So he seems like the one that would use like the knuckles because he just punched them with the metal part of that, but you know, it's fine. We'll just let Refia use them. There we go. Maybe, I was going to say, maybe give Eric a sword and shield, but or a dagger and shield, because that would be relevant to him, but... you know what, we'll try it. He's going to be low on the DPS count, but he'll be high on the defense count for now, but that's okay. And we'll just work with what we've got. Well, it looks like Lunet's getting some decent HP growths out of this, so... HP growths in the long term, they don't, like I said in the beginning of the stream, they don't particularly matter too much. It can cause problems with the super boss if you don't have, like, decent HP growth, but that's really only if you try to do it at a really low level, which I don't know what level we're going to try it at yet, but we'll see. So... I don't think we need any weapons, though, and I think... So I'm not keen to sell stuff early on in this game, because I don't know, like, what'll happen is I'll sell it, and then it'll be like, well, this class can exclusively equip this weapon that you had 6 of a minute ago, and you sold all of them. So I'm not keen to sell stuff early on, but we'll sell stuff once we get access to the actual jobs. Oh, I should show this, by the way. So you can buy items at the item shop, and this is usually where you'll buy things in more quantity. If you buy a certain quantity of them, see how that happens? So it's 50 each for each potion, but now that I'm up to 4, they actually give you a discount on items if you buy them in bulk. So it's always a good idea to buy at least 4 of each item, because you'll just get a discount on them. Does it keep discounting the further I go? Yeah, it does, actually. Look at how it's compounding here. So 8 of them you get for 380, which is, let's see, 8 of them and 50. So we'd save 20 gil. It's not really much in the long term, but, like, you know, it's not bad to do that. So get them for a little... less than you would have to pay normally, so probably I'll buy things for 8 or 12 at a time, depending on how it all goes. So, okay, well, I think we're ready to go to the sealed cave now. We've got all the armor we're gonna get for a little while. Lunet's got all the arrows and stuff. We're all level 6, so I say let's give it a shot. Why do you always hoard in video games? This is the reason, right here. yeah, that's about right, because, hey, they're not going to give me a discount if I don't buy in bulk. But yeah, the sealed cave is up here. It's past this waterway that we can't get past yet, but that's okay. Figures, they give me an airship early in the game, but I can't get past a small body of water because we don't know how to swim. I feel like this is the opposite problem from what I usually have. Alright, let me save real quick, and then I'm going to go turn on the light in my room, because it is officially dark out, so... Which makes sense, because it's almost 9:30. Alright, be right back. You know, the only problem that I can see with not turning the light on in my room is that I have to run the Ethernet cable from, like, under my desk over to where I'm currently sitting on my couch. And it's not off the ground that much, but I could see myself, like, catching it and disconnecting my Ethernet cord, and the whole stream just goes kaput, which would not be... Hey, look, a Polish reference. Which would not be good, but I'll just pick my feet up. How about that? Alright, into the sealed cave we go. If we have to, we can always back out if the enemies are... Oh my god. Didn't expect the music to all of a sudden be like, this is the most haunted place ever. I expected a different track to play here, but I must be misremembering. So, been there, felt anxious about that. Yeah, sorry for activating the anxiety. Whoa. Ah, skeletons. You know, that makes sense, actually. Alright, well, it's a good thing we have, like, 5 holy weapons or something like that at this point. That will make this a lot easier. Actually, Eric the Lad, why don't you attack over here? Sorry, I'm probably going to make a lot of Eric the Lad references just because. So. No, I guess she just switched weapons. It makes sense that she'd have a little bit of trouble adjusting. Oh, you're anxious about so much else right now. Okay, well, fair enough. Not exactly activating then if it's already there. Still, my bad. But I just like the way that this party looks in terms of, like, their outfits. It doesn't look like this, and I said this about Akihiko Yoshida earlier. There's nothing that's really excessive about any of their outfits. I know this is, like, the low-resolution version of their outfits because they're all 3D polygon people, but, like, sometimes with, like I said before, with Nomura, there's just, like, belts where belts shouldn't be, or there's just, like... It's just more unorthodox. It feels like the people that you're playing as have enough money to buy those weird, like, platform, like, fashion show outfits that... It adds a little disconnect between you and the characters in some way. Maybe I'm just speculating, like maybe I'm spitballing in that department, or maybe I'm grasping at straws, I don't know, but like when it feels like the characters are dressed practically for either the adventure that they're on or what they like doing in their life, their personality. It feels more like the characters are easier to connect to that way. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, like I said, maybe I'm just grasping, but like I've always liked Yoshida's designs for that reason, because it feels like there really aren't too many characters he designs that feel impractical. And if they are impractical, it's for a reason. Like, if some characters are dressed in a really pompous way and Yoshida was the designer, it's because they're meant to be pompous. It gives away their personality, kind of. You know enough about the character just from looking at them to know what kind of a person they are, you know? So, sorry, I just really like Yoshida's designs. Nice, took him out yourself. I might have to have Eric start guarding. Wow, and you punched that guy to death. Okay, well, now a bunch of people are going to have to start guarding. Holy, man. We got strong fast. Ever forget how to enjoy a hobby, then stress about how much time you're wasting remembering? Yeah, I feel like I've had that experience, honestly. I think usually what I do when that happens, I'm just trying to think back in terms of like what I would do in that situation, is I just kind of start... Oh, is that my first cure spell? No, we got a cure earlier, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Okay, I was going to say, wow, okay. I think I'm going to give that to Eric, actually, because that'll give him something to do other than swing his daggers around, because he doesn't really need to do that, so there you go. But yeah, I think I've had that experience, and when it comes to like video games at the very least, because I think I've had that happen with video games, because I had this experience when I played Gothic 3 for the stream at one point, and that game was so excessively bad it made me not want to play any video games for like 6 months. I stopped streaming and... Really? Floating coins? The Gill is attacking me now? I thought I'm supposed to be the one throwing money at my problems, not the other way around. Anyway, yeah, like I didn't want to play anything for like 6 whole months. Actually, Eric, why don't you help out over here? Might need it. The coppers might have a little more defense, so. But I picked a game that had been on my bucket list for a while, and I just played it, and it was Pyre, as it turns out. Oh, they can confuse you? That's just great. I hadn't played it because it had been on my bucket list for a while. But I played it, and I just really, really enjoyed it. So, like, I don't know if I have advice for that, because I don't know if it's about video games, but, like, try something that you've been meaning to do, but you haven't done yet, I guess, would be my advice, like, with whatever your hobby is. I don't know if that's good advice, quite honestly, but that's what I did with video games, and it worked pretty good, so. Oh, more money. Nice. That weird 3v3 game with Jay, yeah. That Jay was a thing in that game. Yes, she was, so. Gay, 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 gay. Yes, that. Exactly that. Seems like a good idea. I don't know, like I said, it worked for me when I did, when I had problems in terms of my video game hobby, so It might work for you. Worth a shot anyway, you know? So. But yeah, at the time I had not played Pyre, and so I played it for the first time when I was having that struggle. Well, actually, okay, so let me elaborate a little bit. It wasn't the game that I started with that I was having trouble with. What I did first, so let me give you the full plan, right, is I played a game that I really enjoyed first, but it was also a quick one that I really enjoyed. So I played Plants vs. Zombies. Then once it was like, okay, this is a game I actually enjoy, and I did enjoy playing it again. So I played that, then I played Pyre. So, you know, maybe starting with something you just have never played before might not be the best idea, but play something really familiar that you know you enjoy, and then play something really unfamiliar. So, because that's what I did, so... Skeleton key, huh? Yeah, so if you zoom in, this skeleton is not out of place in a cave full of undead, but it is the key to opening this secret passage. There you go, Sephico. There's your other H.C. Bailey reference. Huh. So, did you also find the skeleton key and get stuck, or what? Yeah, here's the princess. Apparently she has not been kidnapped quite exactly, but sort of. I mean, she was trapped in here just now. Yeah, I was gonna say we need to have that so we can banish the djinn. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you'll stay safer if you're with us, so safer than leaving the cave by yourself. You'd have to wander through all those undead. I think we should follow her orders since she is Her Royal Highness. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Yeah. And we get Princess Sarah in the party. But wait, the party only has 4 slots. How do you get a 5th party member? Well, in this game, you can get a guest 5th party member. Kind of like the 4th party member in Final Fantasy II, this one will rotate out and in as the game goes on. So Sarah won't be with us forever, but she'll be with us for as long as we're trying to banish the djinn, so... And unique to the 3D versions, at least as far as I'm aware, the 2D versions don't do this, the rotating 5th party member can actually help you out in battle sometimes by casting spells or attacking or doing something to that department. They won't ever use your items, though, so I guess it really is just casting spells and attacking, so... And also, I think this is in both versions of the game, you can press the square button and you can actually talk to her, and there are unique conversations that you can get depending on where you talk to them, how far along in their story it is. So, like, here we go, let's give it a shot. Ah, good. Yes, exactly. So if you want to, you could even blow your Antarctic wind items if you still have some from the altar cave. You can blow them on fighting the djinn here as well, but I've been saving Refia's MP, and she has 5 of it left, so we should be able to spam Blizzard for a little while, so... Excuse me. Maybe you should just commit to that quick playthrough of Zelda. Got that little Game & Watch one? Yeah, okay, well, there you go. I mean, again, if it's something you enjoy quite a bit, then yeah, I mean, I don't see the problem there, you know? Might as well. Give it a shot. Oh, yeah, they follow you around as well, so there you go. I don't think, does she say anything else for right now? Yeah, okay, she's got a couple of, a couple of dialogues, as you can see. Lunith? Is that any way to address a member of royalty? Wah, wah. And I think she has one with Ingus as well, so let's see if we can get that one to... They'll repeat certain dialogues, like if you don't... I think if it's it might be changing screens can make them like move to a new dialogue, but sometimes she'll like repeat something before she gets to the other new ones. So I think this is the last new one for now, though. Might be the last new one forever, but well, be sorry about that. You found friends that can actually help you rescue the princess, so I wouldn't worry about not being strong enough for that. Don't read this wrong, but how the heck does her clothing work? Is it a button in the middle? We can look at the model to try to figure that part out. I don't know, honestly. It kind of is like a... Well, it wouldn't be like a bustier or like what's the other word? The one where like a corset. That's it. Where it kind of hugs her whole body, because it's basically like the top to a 2-piece bikini. Kind of is what it looks like to me. but I don't know. Yeah, couldn't tell you. Let's see if we can see it on the model. Oh, I see the problem. Yeah, because it, like, coattails down like that, and then... Okay, I think I've found the one and only problem I have with Akihiko Yoshida's designs. That's, something. Anyway, she casts Cure on the party for you. I think she casts another spell as well. I don't quite remember which one it is, but... It's not bad. It'll keep you healed up for a little while. And we don't really need Eric's MP for anything, because he's not really going to use it for anything. It'd probably be nice if we got access to Osmos earlier in this game, because then I could Osmos off my own party members, but that's not a thing, so... I don't even think Osmos is in this game, now that I think about it, so... Well, we're all getting some levels. That's a good thing. Yeah, so, like, it's got the top to the two-piece bikini, then it trails off, and it's just the rest of her coat, but her sleeves are, like... separate from the rest of it. I don't get that. I understand what you were looking at, and I don't understand it either. So, am I going the right way or the wrong way? Because this, okay, this is a dead end. Another Antarctic wind. That's good. Probably gonna hold on to that one too. This is also a dead end. Yep. Sometimes you gotta look for those like secret passages in the parts that trail off the map, but sometimes there are no secret passages. That's an eyeball in a tornado. So larva. So everything in here is weak to holy. So, you know, that's all we need to think about is that. But I'll save Ingus's MP for the actual boss fight, I think. I'm just gonna have you guard, and then we'll use the White Slayer here. Oh, nice! You're hitting 4 times with the bow now. He might have done that in the previous battle, and I just didn't see it, but that's a good thing. Moving upwards with all of our damage, so that's... Hey, I can't complain about that. And we're still getting quite a bunch of experience. I guess I'm just like... This game is interesting because it goes from giving you like 2 or 3 experience per battle to all of a sudden giving you like 50 or 60. Granted, the experience you need to the next level starts jacking up pretty high as well, but like... You know, it's not too bad. And our party members are only like 53 experience between, like, difference between each other at the most, so it's not like one person's going to gain levels and then it'll be multiple battles before the next person does, so... more eye drops, just in case we get blinded. Haven't gotten blinded yet, but I think some of the enemies in here can cast blind. I forget which one can, though. I want to say the mummies can, but I could be wrong about that, so... Encounter rate's taking it easy on me. It's interesting. Sounds like Mario and Luigi music. Yeah, it might have similar, like... I don't remember the exact composer for this one, but it's not Yoko Shimomura. But she works for the same company, so yeah, I could see it being similar. Alright, go for it, Sarah. So I don't know if that's on the party or on the enemies. I guess we'll find out. Oh, okay. It's on the party. Didn't really need that, but sure, why not? Oh, nice. Oh, not nice. Never mind. That's nice, though. Okay, didn't quite get that guy, so... we'll do a Poisona. And why don't you punch him to death then, Refia, while we get the Poisona ready? I guess I could just use an antidote as well, but I don't think we're going to need 4 cures to finish the fight with Jin, so... Or you could just punch him to death before we even get the chance to cast on him. That's the trouble with having 4 freelancers in the party. If I remember correctly, turn order is influenced by the agility stat, but everybody has the same agility right now, so, like, we're all going to end up going in pretty much random turn order. So, can't really make yourself slower or faster at this point in the game, unfortunately, so. But yeah, the poison will stick around, so I guess we'll use an antidote because might as well. That way I can cast a cure later. Or not. I can just do that instead. Alright. Trying to think if Lunith wants the wooden arrows for the boss fight, because it's coming up in just a second, but just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, it's right in there, so... well, the holy arrows are just flat out stronger than the wooden arrows, if I remember correctly as well, so... Yeah, so maybe I'll just leave them on. We don't need them that badly after this, because there aren't as many undead enemies going forward after this dungeon, so... I can hear the Mario and Luigi in it though because it's got that little do 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 in the background. That's a very Mario and Luigi instrument that they're using there. So, all right. Anyway, let's see if we can. You don't have anything extra to say, do you, Princess? No. Okay. We have in fact seen this one before. I think it's just those 3 conversations. But sometimes they'll have more than 3, so you gotta kind of just check to make sure. Ah, Eraser Jin in the flesh. Wait, that's a different game. Give it to him. Well, maybe don't give him the ring, but banish him with the spell. What's going on? He's been empowered by darkness, I guess. So we'll have to beat him up before he'll let us banish him with the ring. Alright, fair enough. I can do that. Did he get empowered by Kingdom Hearts? Is that what filled him with the power of darkness? Probably not. Either way, he is, in fact, Fire Elemental, so he's weak to that Blizzard spell that we got. And that's what we're going to use on him. Although the undead slaying items do pretty good damage to begin with anyway, so... We'll just blast him with Blizzard a few times and he should be done. So, yeah, that's 114 right there. He's got like 600 HP if I remember right, so... Although he can cast fire on the whole party for probably decent damage. Yeah, that's decent. I might have to have Eric heal because everybody else is doing pretty good damage. Sorry, Eric, I've relegated you to Team Healer, which is not your role normally, but not the one I want you to have anyway. So... Nice. Our DPS is pretty good, over all things considered. Now, you might be noticing that the boss is getting 2 turns per turn. That is a very common thing to happen in this game, so get used to it. I think every boss in the game has at least 2 turns for every... Well, they get 2 actions, I should say it that way. They get 2 actions for every turn. So, just, yeah, keep that in mind. It's pretty much this game's way of making the bosses a little more difficult. Ouch. Ouch. So. And that's a little unfortunate, because that means that Ingus is probably going to be KO'd for the end of the fight, but... Yeah. Okay, well... We'll just get him some more experience later, because the bosses give you actual experience in this game, unlike... he just smushed into the ground. Sorry, that's just really funny to me. I don't know why. But yeah, you get actual experience from the boss fights in this game, so now Luneth, Eric, and Refia will be ahead of him. But not by much, actually. Because he was already like 53 experience ahead of Eric and Refia, so... That means he's only like 13 experience behind at the most now, which means everybody's closer together. I'm okay with that. Well, now he's weak, so eat this. Anytime someone mentions Kingdom Hearts, your first thought is that cutscene with Mickey saying, "Did someone mention the door to darkness?" Sorry, I can't do a good Mickey voice. My Donald voice is much better, but... why are we turning into ghosts now? Did the djinns, like, curse us before going to the grave or getting stuck in the ring? Oh, I know that music. Yeah, teleport technology. Figures. Although that means that I must have found the crystal's other 3 chosen wielders, so, hey, I'll take it. Well, I didn't come down here with Eric and Refia, but this is the altar cave, and the crystal altar of the altar cave, nonetheless. Yeah, maybe we should take our new friends to the crystal, Luneth. I figured. Who else has access to teleport in this universe? Well, me later, but, I mean, that's because of the crystals, so... Oh, okay. That sounds like a lot of responsibility. Yeah, the crystals! Well, we don't want that. That would probably be pretty bad for the world, so... Oh, okay. Well, that sounds good, I guess. Or bad, depending on whether that power extraction is bad for the crystals, but... And that's the game, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. That's the end of the prologue. So this is like them introducing the game to you, kind of similar to like opening credits, basically. So, bit of a fake out there, but that's okay. Yeah. So there's our character designer that I was just talking about. That's the prologue of Final Fantasy III that we've just finished. There's not like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, that sort of stuff. It's just they wanted to introduce the main players that they were going to, you know, be the people that you would, well, the people on the dev team that you quote-unquote interact with the most, because they're the ones that directed the battle system or the music or that sort of stuff. So I guess Uematsu was, well, I think Nobuo Uematsu was the original composer for Final Fantasy III when it was on the NES. I don't know if he's the composer for this version of the game, though. I'd have to look that up. Hold on, I can look that up. My phone's not doing anything right now, so... Excuse me. Yeah, so like the opening credits to a movie, kind of. Yeah, the people that are... not the most important, because everybody on the dev team is most important, but the ones that whose systems you're most likely to interact with. So, in the game, so... Yeah, big names, then everybody at the end, so... When the four were bathed in its light, they knew its will, its fear, its hope, and the destiny that awaited them. You must drive the darkness from this world and restore light to its rightful place. There is a bit of an imbalance, if the Jin has anything to say about it. You are our last hope, or rather, if the Jin is any indication. So, Warriors of Light, huh? I guess it makes sense, inspiring Deltarune. Yeah, Deltarune took kind of inspiration from a lot of different RPGs, but this is kind of the one where the whole Warriors of Light thing comes from. It's just the Final Fantasy series in general. It's a very common designation to your heroes. So, usually you don't get to play as the Warriors of Darkness. But we've been blessed by the Crystal's light, and that gives us access to the game's other systems. The job system. Really, it's just the one system, but, you know, it's a pretty good system. Oh, okay. So yeah, if you came down here with Erkenrefia before we got Ingus, like if you came back to the cave and you fell in the hole and you couldn't get back up, you could teleport out of here by stepping on the circle behind the crystal normally, so. Now, Ingus is still, like, dead, right? Oh, okay. A Moogle. Hi, Moogle. Yeah, so the Moogle's going to give us a little tutorial on the jobs, although I don't know if it gives us, like, a full-on tutorial or if it just talks at us, so. Can I be a Warrior of Darkness? Maybe. We'll see if that job role is filled by the time the game's over with. Yeah, so here's the thing about jobs. I'll talk about this in just a minute, basically, but you gain job levels as you gain experience with the jobs. Okay, he's done with his little explanation. But let's actually go into the job menu so I can talk about it a little bit here. See if Ingus is still... Oh, no, he got a full heal. Okay, cool. And like I said, everybody should be a little closer together on experience now. Yeah, so they're only 18 experience apart. I'm okay with that. That's better than it was before. They'll all level up at the same time now. Just about, anyway. Alright, so here's the job menu, right? So, we have access to the 6 jobs. There are the 6 jobs that were available to you at the beginning of Final Fantasy I as well. Warrior, Monk, White Mage, Black Mage, Red Mage, and Thief. So, you can change jobs in this game whenever you want, and the job level is listed next to the actual job. So right now, we're level 1 in all of the jobs that we just got because we haven't leveled any of them up yet. Luneth's current job, Freelancer, is at level 10. So he's a little bit better as a Freelancer than he is as a Warrior or a Monk or any of that sort of stuff. If you change jobs, though, there's a concept called job adjustment. Now, what a job adjustment means is that you're not going to be good at the job right away. You almost like... It's almost like getting a cold every time you switch jobs. It's kind of weird to explain it that way, but you have to overcome the job adjustment phase before you're fully proficient at that job. So what that means is your stats will be lowered during this job adjustment phase, and then once you've fought the prerequisite number of battles, in this case 2 battles, you'll be a fully fledged, in this case, warrior. So basically, for Luneth to go from Freelancer to Warrior, he has to spend 2 battles being sick, quote-unquote, and then he's a fully fledged warrior. And I do want him to be a warrior, at least if I'm going to do things the way that I think I'm going to do them. So let's swap him over to warrior. And there you go. Now he's got some actual armor and everything else on there other than just the vest. So, but your job levels stay. So like if I was to switch back to Freelancer at any point, I can just go back to it and I'll still be job level 10 in it. Now, with that being said, if you try to switch back to Freelancer while you're in job adjustment phase, or switch to any other job while you're in job adjustment phase, it compounds the job adjustment phase. So now instead of being 2 battles where I'm sick, Luneth is sick, he now has 3 battles where he's sick. So you can't keep switching jobs over and over again and expect to get away with it. Kind of the idea here is use a job for a while, then switch. So like maybe at each crystal you use a job for the entire duration of that crystal's chapter of the story, quote unquote, then you can switch to something else. So yeah, it's the noob debuff, and it stacks with itself. Up to 10 battles, yes. There's a certain thing where if you switch from a job that's like the most magical job to the most physical job, you could have a job adjustment phase of up to 10 battles just from that adjustment there. Or if you just keep changing jobs because you're not sure, and you know, like if I switched to every one of these jobs to see what Luneth looked like in all of them, he'd have a 10 battle adjustment phase. So there you go. Is it exploitable? I don't think you can underflow stats in this game like you can in other Final Fantasy games. So, like, and there's underflow glitches for accuracy in other Final Fantasy games where if you underflow your stats, you're just 100% accurate because it underflows back to 255 instead of 0. So I don't think it's exploitable in any way. You can, however, as your job levels get really high, so like let's say I'm a job level 45 or 50 warrior, right? And then I want to switch Luneth over to another melee DPS job that's similar to warrior later when I get, like, say, an upgrade to it, right? The job adjustment phase actually is lower then because you're switching to a similar job. And because you're switching to a similar job and you have a high job level already, there's less time that you have to spend adjusting to the new job. If you switch between jobs that are different roles, so like if it's a magic job and you switch to a physical job, there's going to be more of an adjustment. But if you're switching from physical to physical or magical to magical, there's less job adjustment to be had. So, can you overdo it for a challenge? Yes, absolutely. You could stay in job adjustment phase for the entire game if you wanted to. Because all you'd have to do is, like, you'd have to keep going back and menuing to do it, but, like, you would basically, what you would do is you would compound the adjustment phase to be 10 battles, just so you wouldn't have to menu as much. Then fight the 10 battles, then do it again. Just keep compounding at 10 battles and go back, 10 battles and go back. Now, let's see how much it changes his stats. So that way we know kind of like, and that down arrow says he's in job adjustment, basically. So compared to Luneth, so Eric has 9 in every stat as a freelancer, which Luneth would have had if he stayed freelancer. Now, Luneth's stats look like this. So his strength and agility go down by 2, his vitality goes down by 1, and his intellect and mind go down by 3. Now, that's because his strength and agility, once he's done adjusting, are higher. Same thing with vitality, and his intellect and mind are lower. So probably his stats at the moment are like probably 10, 10, 11, 9, 9, if I had to guess, as a warrior. Maybe lower than that, actually, because he'd have lower intellect and mind. So maybe like 9, 9, 10, 8, 8. I would say. But, yeah, so you're basically like -3 or -4 or -5 on your stats. Well, between -2 and -5 on your stats for the whole game. That might be too much, actually. -5 might be more than you normally have, but yeah, his HP went up a little bit, I think. No, actually, it was the same. His MP went all the way down because he can't cast spells anymore, but he didn't have spells to begin with, so there you go. And now that we did that, let's give everybody else the jobs I want them to have, so... that's formation, not job. There we go. Alright, so, Luneth, like I said, I'm going to keep him in Warrior. He has it in the game's opening, which is really good, by the way. You should watch it if you didn't watch it when the game started. We'll see it anyway every stream, because I'm going to play it every stream, because it's that good. But he's a Warrior in this one. Eric, I have a little bit of an odd idea for Eric in terms of what I want him to do. It's probably a little unorthodox, but... he's going to end up in a, like, very bulky, wearing lots of heavy armor kind of a class later in the game, but we don't have access to it right now, and I already have a warrior, so I'm not going to have him be another one. You can just do that if you want. You can do 4 warriors, you can do 4 monks, 4 whatever, but I'm going to kind of have each job be unique. So he's going to be in a big, bulky, heavy armor class later, and I could have just made him the warrior, but I want Luneth to be the warrior because he can equip bows as a warrior, and I still want him to equip bows. So instead of that, I'm going to give Eric I guess, kind of a support role a little bit. He's going to be a thief. Now, he has a 4-battle job adjustment, because thief is a lot different from freelancer in terms of what it can do. It's faster. It has access to steal. So, but yeah, so he's going to be a thief for a little while. And his adjustment means, yeah, he's got a little bit lower stats, but that's fine. You know, he'll be fine the way that he is. It'll be okay. And also, we can't really put him in the back row, even though he doesn't have access to good armor yet. But if I remember right, thieves in this game get access to pretty decent armor, all things considered. But either way, we'll figure that out later. Refia, what are we going to have her do? So, it would be probably misogynistic to be like, well, she's the girl in the party, so she can be the white mage. I do want her casting magic, but as you saw, I gave her all the black magic in the party. Now, that means she has one of two options. She could either be turned into a red mage, which can cast a little bit of either school, but it's limited in terms of the amount of MP that it has, or she could turn into a fully fledged black mage, which has more MP but can only cast black magic. And that's what I'm going to do for her. I'm going to turn her into a black mage, so... I really like the bow on the back of her hat there, so we'll get to see it more because we'll be seeing the back of her head more in battles, but yeah, so we'll switch her to Black Mage. And that just means the only thing we have left to do is have a healer, and Ingus, as it turns out, is a pretty good choice for that because, as we saw with Princess Sarah, she's pretty good with white magic to begin with, so I don't think it's a stretch to say that Ingus would want to be good at white magic either. So, there you go. Alright, so we have our 2 melee DPSs, and we have our 2 magic casters. Actually, it's funny, because this is literally the OG party. Like, this is the generic party that you see in every Final Fantasy 1 playthrough. A warrior, a thief, a black mage, and a white mage, so... We're going old school with it, although I did not use this party lineup in my Final Fantasy 1 playthrough. I used what'd I use? A monk, a thief, a white mage, and a red mage and a white mage. So, it's a little different from what I'm used to, but it's what a lot of other people use, so there you go. Alright, let's see what we can equip on everybody. Hang on, let me fix my items real quick before I do anything here, so... Oh, and I almost forgot, you can also switch up your party members' order like that, so like if you switch Eric to the top here and I go out of the menu, he'll be the overworld character. That is relevant for something later on, actually, but for now, it's not something we need to worry about, so... Alright, sort my items. There we go. I was gonna say, do we still have the ring? But no, she would have it. The princess would. So, alright, items are sorted. Let's equip everybody, because walking out into the world naked would not be a good idea. Oh yeah, you gotta put this in the left hand. There we go. And, I'll hold on to the holy arrows. They might come in handy later, and with his extra strength, the wooden arrows will probably be pretty good for him, so... I think Eric can still equip that mithril helm, right? Yeah, and he's going to be in the front row for now because he's going to have daggers equipped, so he actually needs more defense than everybody else does, so we'll give him that. Let's see. Give him the dagger and a knife. You know what? I'll give him the leather shield as well. Again, he's going to be in the front row. And I don't really think he's going to be doing too much actual attacking, quite honestly. He's probably going to be using the steel command more often than not, so we'll just do that. As for Refia, it's a good thing I kept that staff because she can't equip any other weapons other than bows. She can equip bows from the back row, so it might be worth it for me to get her a bow now, and then maybe give her the holy arrows or give her some more wooden arrows, but I guess we'll see. I'll leave her with no weapons for now, because Ingus can't equip any weapons other than the staff as a white mage, so yeah, he's gonna need that. Alright, there we go. So yeah, I'll probably just go get Refia a bow, and then, let's see, we've got 57 wooden arrows. I think I can buy them. So I'll just, I don't think we can talk to the crystal again, can we? No. Okay. But yeah, so I'll just buy some more wooden arrows for Luneth, so he gets up to, maybe I'll get him to 60 or something. And then I'll just buy some wooden arrows for Refia. Think your brain turned off for a second? That's your cue to, what's that say? Oh, consider sleeping in like an hour. Okay, yeah. I was like, what is that word? My brain turned off for a second. Let's see. Okay, I've got everybody in the back row for now. So that means they'll all take half melee damage, but I guess that's only really hurting Eric because his dagger won't do much damage, but it's fine, you know. Not a big deal. He doesn't have to be in the front row. So now what you might want to do... Yeah, corn on the cob cider, there you go. So now something you might want to do, since we're in job adjustment phase, before we go back to Kazus to see if... Or actually, we got to go back to Castle Sasune, and we have to walk there because we don't have access to the airship. It's still stuck over by the sealed cave, and we can't swim, so... but what might be worth considering doing is walking around and just fighting regular goblins while you're in job adjustment phase, because if you do that, then you can fight easy battles and get the sickness out of the way quickly, so that way you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so we can see here, Lunith still has access to the guard command, but he lost his ability to cast magic in favor of the advance command. And what advance does is it lets him do more damage in exchange for having less defense. But he's in the back row, so if I equip him with a bow and have him use advance, he effectively has the same defense he'd have in the front row, but he does more damage than he would do in the front row to begin with. So, yeah, the advance command with a bow is pretty good. So, anyway, I want everybody to get a chance to have an action, so let's have everybody guard. We'll have Eric start stealing, see if we can catch any good stuff. It won't be good stuff, it'll just be a potion, but there you go. Nice exploit. Yeah, really. Might as well take advantage of the game's systems while I can, you know? Now, the thing about Eric is that he can't actually guard as a thief. He has the flee command instead, which gives you a nearly 100% run rate from the battle. So, it might be worth it to put him in the back row to begin with anyway, just because he can't guard, so he will take less damage this way. But here's your advance command. It didn't look like much, but that's because we're still sick, so... Like, we still have crystal sickness here. Once our stats go all the way back up in one more battle, we won't have crystal sickness anymore, and then we don't have to worry about that. I'm going to go back to actually, after I get most of us out of crystal sickness, so that way I can use the wellspring. Oh, we got a preemptive strike, nice. I'm just going to advance on you, see if we can steal from you, and we'll just guard with you, too. So... Yeah, I like the little bow that Refia's got on her Black Mage cap. Most of the other... the guys don't have that bow, basically. They just have a plain old hat. So, which is fine, it's just... I don't know, I like the accent. That's the thing about Refia, is that a lot of her outfits have these little accents in them. Like, you can't really see it because her arms are in the way right now. But she also has that, like, bow tie on her Black Mage outfit, and it's like this nice, sharp blue as well. So, I like it. I'm a fan. I like most of the job designs in this game, quite honestly. And actually, the artwork that Yoshida made for the job designs is really cool, too. You know, there's only so much you can do with the 3D models because of the polygon count, but, like, the actual concept art for it, really good. I like it. Alright, anyway, there we go. Can I tell Elder Topapa that we got the Crystal's Blessing now that we're, you know, not dressed in our usual outfit? No. Okay. Like how the backgrounds is clouds behind a cutout, it feels theatrical. Yeah, and honestly, it's kind of funny because it kind of reminds me a little of Paper Mario, because Paper Mario is on a stage too, you know? So, like, it gives me that same vibe, I guess. Alright, I need to get a bow while I'm here, I think. Well, maybe I can get a bow in Kazus, actually. So hang on, let's not buy anything just yet. Let's save our money. Because once we free Kazus of the curse, well, maybe Taka will give me a few good weapons to use. Oh, I should show this. So, yeah, so right now, Eric had a 4 job adjustment phase, a 4 battle adjustment phase, so he's still in job sickness, but everybody else is done, so now their stats are where they're supposed to be, so let's just show those. Also, Refia has 10 MP, and so does Ingus right now. She'd have, like, 6 or 7 as... No, she'd have 7 as a red mage because it's the same as Freelancer, but 10 MP, so she can cast Blizzard 10 times right now. That's pretty good. Alright, well, there you go. So there's our stats. And, I mean, I guess, you know, in a way, it's a downgrade from Freelancer because we had 9 in every stat a little while ago, but yeah, it's fine. I'm not unemployed. I have job sickness. Yeah, that's about right, honestly. Why do you guys have 9 strength and agility? That's really weird. Don't you have 8? Yeah, okay. I don't know what that's all about. Huh. I guess black mages and white mages can just bonk people with their sticks a lot better than a warrior can. I don't know. My poor airship. I can't swim to it. I'm in heavy armor now. There are other enemies in the world map besides the goblins, though. So maybe let's, while we're still in adjustment, let's see if we can find them. Okay, there's a couple of them. Berserker. They look threatening, but I don't think they really are. I'm gonna try sleep, actually. It really usually doesn't work, but you never know. It might work this time. Beat them up with your stick there, Ingus. You've got 3 attacks, so I'm sure that'll do a whole lot for you. No steal for me, I guess. Let's see. Nah, you know what? I'm just gonna advance again. I've got plenty of wooden arrows, so why not? Yeah, Lunith is going to be our main physical DPS for a little while. We're going to have to micromanage our MP a little bit with Refia, but she'll have access to a bow pretty soon, so then she'll be able to, you know, still contribute meaningfully to the party while being in the back row. Yeah, so there was the little blue bow tie that she's got there. Some stuff looks a little fuzzy, but this game seems to have aged well. Might be a translation, a CRT translation issue. Yeah, there's a couple of little fuzzy things, and it might just be the PSP emulator as well, because it's good, but it's not the best, you know? I mean, it's emulating it, so there's going to be some, like, artifacts and stuff you see on the screen, but, you know, I think it looks pretty good, all things considered. Despite the fact that, I mean, you know, it's like low-res polygon models, so you would think, okay, well, maybe there's a couple of bad things going on there, but, like, no, it looks pretty good, all things considered, I think, anyway. Here's another one of the enemies we can find, killer bees. I think they're killer, anyway. I mean, that didn't kill me, but I guess that they are killer, so. I think you can steal antidotes from them, if I remember correctly. Let's just blizzard them, and then I guess we'll poison that poison you got going on there. Actually do white mage things. Why not? Yeah, that's a little damage. And yeah, Eric's not exactly good at the stealing thing yet, but don't worry about it. We'll get better at it as we go. I forget if the success percentage is based on your job level too. Like, that might factor into the formula, but I could be wrong about that. It might just be that, like, because enemies have multiple things you can steal, but you don't have access to the higher level steals until you get a higher job level, basically. So it might just be that. It might just be like a fixed percentage steal rate, and then the higher level stuff is available when your job level goes up. So, I can't see their job levels from the screen. Alright, 2, 2, 2. Okay, everybody's at 2 now. Good. That's a good thing. And we're all out of adjustment now, right? Yeah, okay. So now we've got full stats. Good, good. So now we can actually continue with the plot. The way that I have it planned to do the job stuff, well, this is a little... She's probably like, what the heck happened to all of you? What's with all the outfits? But the way I have it planned that I'm going to use jobs, there shouldn't be too much adjustment going on. There's only a couple of situations where we'll be like... My plan, basically, is to kind of keep these jobs for a while and then switch them to the upgraded versions, quote-unquote, when we get them. And kind of just roll with it from there. Like, I'm not really planning on adjusting to new jobs, like, a lot, basically. So, glad to see you're safe. Also, I'm a healer now, so, you know, we're even closer than we were before. Oh, okay. So, yeah, that wellspring, well, I called it stagnant water. That's below Castle Sasne. That is the... Blessed Spring, so now we can use that to cleanse the ring and destroy the djinn once and for all. Here you go. Yeet! Alright, well, that takes care of that. Well, one way to find out, let's go see your dad and see if it's all taken care of. Are you going to stay in the basement, Princess, or don't you have a tower that you can live in? But yeah, the curse has been lifted. We get happy music to say that we've lifted the curse, and... Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the, you know, congratulations and welcome, but we've got more important things. We have to save the world now. Yes, sire, I have to abandon my duty to the castle in order to, you know, go do that. That's okay. You're gonna save the world, so that only helps my kingdom. Go for it. I don't need a job, but I just need to pay rent. That's being over 20 for you. Yeah, there you go. Wah, wah. Well, excuse us, princess. We have to leave. That's why we need to be excused. But as an actual reward, the king presents us with a canoe, which means we can now go retrieve Sid's airship without him making us swim across the pond. Because, you know, that would be kind of bad. Already being in debt and, like, for one stream in, what is this, Tales of Xillia 2? That was such a good game, even with the $20 million worth of debt I had in the game. That's not an exaggeration, it was actually 20 million. Probably. I don't know, maybe I'll ask him when we go see him next. Thank you, sire, we will do that. Well, Angus will, anyway. No, okay, I don't think these guys have anything new to say. The other guys are new, though, so... Is it made of origami? Yeah, something like that, like a paper swan. That is nothing to the RPG economy master. Yeah, I mean, I guess I did break the economy in most of the RPGs we've played so far. Yeah, so... I guess it's not really a problem, is it? Is it just you, or are those pillars 2D? They might be. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, this one has collision, but that doesn't mean it's not 2D. Hang on, let's go back up and look at the ones you were looking at. So, let's see, hang on. They might be made of paper. Sometimes to save costs, they might do that in these games, so... these ones? Yeah. I mean, they might be. They have collision, but that could just be like, you can't walk on this spot, you know what I mean? So... And I can't walk behind the spot either, so... You might be right. 2D or not 2D? That is the question. Yeah, something like that. Surprised I didn't think of that one. Thank you for covering my bases, Sephico. Alright, well anyway, let's rest up before we go see the princess. Because she's probably up in the tower now. We should probably tell her that her favorite knight is leaving, because I feel like, you know, she'd want to know that. So... The nice thing about the PSP version is that, like, the soundtrack that we're hearing in the background, it's not lossless completely, but for the most part, it's more high quality in terms of the audio than it would have been on the DS version, so... I don't know, it's another reason why I wanted to play this version over the DS version. It's also, quite honestly, just easier to find the emulator for this one. So, I mean, what? I own this. I mean, I do own this game on the DS, but, you know... Oh, okay, huh. I wonder how they're going to become red mages if they can't access the crystals, so... Oh. Yeah, we should probably go see her. Especially, like I said, because we have to tell her that we're leaving, so... You can leave without telling her, but that wouldn't be the knightly thing to do now, would it? Granted, he's not a knight anymore, he's a white mage, but, you know... You could own it and Nintendo would still make you buy it again. I mean, you're probably not wrong, quite honestly, and they'd make me buy it at full price. But, you know. Gonna have to wake up tomorrow and be productive. Is it really too late to stop being an engineer and be a shadowy cryptid wizard? I mean, you could be both, but one of those pays the bills and one of them doesn't, unfortunately, so... you know. I mean, you have to... store yourself in a phylactery for one of them. Or is that just a lich? I could be wrong about that. I really just wanted to say the word phylactery. How often do you get to say that in regular conversation, right? Yeah, sell the kidneys off for extra profit. You know, you only need 33% of one of them to have full function, so, you know. That's actually true, by the way. Like, in terms of anatomy, you only need 33% functionality in a single kidney in order for your body to do all of the filtration that it actually needs to do. Your kidneys are that efficient. It's, like, scary, man. Well, I'm sorry, but would you rather I have just left without telling you? Just kidding. I don't even know how you'd sell a kidney. What was I going to look up? I have my phone open on the Google search engine. I just looked over. I was going to look up the composer for this game. Hang on. Go see if it's actually Nobuo or if somebody else did it, like in the PSP version of Final Fantasy 1 and 2. Let's just look. I don't know if it'll be on Wikipedia, actually. Let me just do this. PSP composer. There we go. Yeah, it says Nobuo, although that's the Wikipedia article on music of Final Fantasy 3, so you know. It doesn't say it in the wiki article. I mean, he's just credited to it, you know what I mean? There's probably another person that did it, and we'll see it in the game's credits, but I mean, Nobuo deserves the recognition, obviously, because he was the one that made the original tracks. Sometimes I like to know who did the actual, like, reimagining of these sounds, you know, of this music. So, it's just kidneying. Why would I even? I wouldn't know that. Haha. Anyway. Let's head out of the castle. Now that the curse is lifted, Kazus should be uncursed as well. And that means they'll sell us stuff. Well, there's her smile, at least. Not that we can see it from down here, but, you know. Alright, come on, Ingus, we gotta go! I still have to explore the Mithril mines before the stream's over today, but that's okay. I started 15 minutes late anyway, so. I think there's one more enemy that we can fight on the overworld here that we didn't see. But yeah, there's the canoe that we can use for 3 seconds to grab the airship and then take it over here. I'm going to look for that one enemy, actually, real quick, so let's just do this. And I think it's up closer to Castle Sasune. I don't know, like, where the goblins stop and the other enemies start, but let's just see if I can find it. Yeah, come on, you dingus! I mean, Ingus. Dingus. Oh, there's the enemy. Good. It's a werewolf. Nothing that interesting, but yeah, might as well. I'm not going to go for like 100% bestiary in the game, but I'm going to try to go for 100% treasure rating. There's a few places that you can't go back to, like a few dungeons that once you leave you can't go back, but there aren't too many of those, and I'll make sure I tell you if there are, so that way you know for yourselves. So. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering why Luneth has gone back down to only doing 2 hits with his bow, it's because of job level. Job level is factored into the number of hits that you do, so since he's at job level 2, he can't quite do as many hits. That's not the only thing that affects the number of hits that he does in battle, but it is the only thing that we can physically see. There's a hidden mechanic that I haven't talked about yet that we'll talk about later. We don't need to worry about that for right now. Not until the next crystal, actually. So. Ah, well, I was going to say, this must be Refia's father, because he's just as impatient as his daughter. So. Father, are you okay? You're not going to like this. I switched off of job classes. I'm no longer a blacksmith in training. I'm a black mage instead. That wasn't even intentional. Oh, okay. Well. Man, and I wanted to go explore the Mithril mines, but she's out of the party again. Literally. She's gone. There's no, she's not here. So. Yeah, we aren't exploring the Mithril mines just yet, but we gotta just, basically we just gotta go and round everything up here, and then once we're done, then we can go exploring. No son of mine is gonna be a magician! Something like that. Oh, okay. It's not a wonder the rock falling there was such a big problem. Well, maybe we can do something about that rock. I don't know how, but, you know. Alright, so this is the Mognet. Now, Mognet it was a side quest in the 3D version on the Nintendo DS, and, well, what it used to be was you would pass people on the street, and the wireless functionality on your DS would... Actually, I don't think it was on the street. That's Street Pass. No, that's the thing with the regular DS, because that was in Pokemon Black and White as well. You'd pass people on the street, and the wireless functionality of your DS would basically... You'd exchange information with people, and that exchange of information would let you access a new letter on the Mognet system. Now, the PSP doesn't have that functionality, so they just literally cut out the wireless communication part of the side quest, and you can just read letters from people, the NPCs that are in the world of the game, as you progress with the story. Which, I mean, it sounds interesting when I say, well, you use wireless communication and pass information to people, and that information causes the NPCs in the game to send a letter. It's an innovative system, but this is just much easier, quite honestly, than it was the other way. The other way, I was like, well, you have to pass different people I think it was different people anyway. I remember trying to do this side quest with my brother because he had his DS and a copy of Final Fantasy III, like way back in the day. And I don't think you could do it with just 2 DSs. I think you had to do it with more than 2. Like, you had to pass a unique person. I could be wrong, though. Either way, it's not a problem now because you can just do it this way. And this side quest is absent from the Pixel Remaster version, but it is pretty important. So you can't access the super boss unless you do the side quest. So anyway, this letter's from Elder Topapa. Lunith, Eric, how fare you? Is just not the same without you two. Everyone here misses you, and we all pray for your safe return. From Topapa. So yeah, nothing substantial, but sometimes you'll get information that you didn't have about characters and stuff, so. Do you always refer to yourself in the third person? Yes, that's literally just a Mog thing. Anyway, before we go shopping, we can't really go shopping without Refia in the party, since she's the one that needs the bow, after all. But let's go talk to Sid, who is a jolly old fellow. You filled out quite a bit since the last time I saw you. It's a good look for you. I mean, I don't know about that, but we did return it to you, so. Oh, okay, we should take you back to Mrs. Sid then. And Sid joins your party and fills that 4th slot instead of Refia. No, he's a 5th guest party member, so. Yeah. So he's similar to the princess and he'll follow you around. He's got some things to say, so let's take a look. Yeah, you'd get greetings and stuff from people. Must have met like a solid 2 people ever. Yeah, there weren't too many in my town either, so probably better in cities. Yeah, where there was more just like density of people, you were more likely to meet people. So, well, she was, but yeah, her father needed her to do stuff. Yeah, how are we supposed to be the 4 heroes of light if we don't have the 4th hero? Or the 3rd hero, as it were. Sid would be chill in a Zelda game, you think? Yeah, probably. He's got the look for that chill NPC that gives you advice, you know? So, let's get down to business to defeat the darkness. It's a little different from defeating the Huns, I guess. So see if we can collect up Refia. Yeah, that's probably a relief, I would imagine. How are we gonna bust the... Oh, you know what? Never mind. Cannons. There's probably cannons on the airship that we just didn't see before. Or we can smash into the rock with our delicate wooden airship with a mithril ram. Are you sure that's the only way? Why don't we just have him design a cannon? A mithril cannon instead of a mithril ram. Refia, you still have 9 strength. You can carry the mithril. Chop, chop! Wah, wah. Cannon's cannon? Heck yeah. What was that Eggman cannon clip? The one from Sonic Adventure 1 where he said, "Egg cannon ready? Fire!" That one? Or are we thinking of a different one? Are we thinking of the one from Sonic Adventure 2? Anyway, the ship's been fitted with a mithril ram now, so that's cool, I guess. We can break through boulders. I'm sure you are, Taka. I'm sure you are. Well, Refia is still not in the party, so... Yeah, get a load of this! Something like that. I can't do a good Dean Bristow voice either. Rest in peace, Dean Bristow, but there you go. Oh, it might have been a Sonic Heroes thing. All I remember from Sonic Heroes is, initiate rotary attack! But that's just me. But yeah, so they fitted this with the mithril ram. Can I say anything else to you other than, wasn't Refia with you? Yes, I can, okay. Well, we will, but we gotta get some mithril from the cave first, but we'll worry about that in a second. First, let's get back on the airship. Because as it turns out, Refia is a chronic runaway. I mean, we already knew that, but, you know. Ah! Shouldn't you be, like, doing blacksmithing? There's more important things to do than blacksmithing, like saving the world. Yeah, but one of those pays the bills. You know you're right, and I hate that you're right, but we're still gonna save the world. Actually, saving the world does pay the bills. We get money from all the monsters we kill. But, you know. Oh, so you're also an orphan. Starting to run in the family here. Oh, okay. So we all are orphans, and maybe that's why the crystal chose us. Well, okay then. Sid's just all gung-ho about the rock. He's like, you know what? It's cool that you all have something in common. Now let's go kill that rock. Mrs. Sid's been waiting a really long time. You don't understand. Oh, from Sonic Heroes, it's ready all cannons! Open fire! I remember that one too, now that you say that, yeah. Okay. Alright, we're going to save, but we're still going to keep going, because like I said, I didn't start till 7:45, so let's keep going. Also, since I went golfing earlier today and I walked like 2.5 miles, I have already showered for the night. I'm all set and ready to go. I don't have to do that after this, and then, like, I have to... Let's not mistake it. I have to go to bed by midnight so I can get up at 6 a.m., but I don't have anything to do after I'm done with the stream. That's the important part. So I can actually go for a little longer tonight than I would normally. Sid is well on his way to being my favorite character. He's just so gung-ho. He's like, nope, violence, we must choose it. Oh, Reffy is in the party, so we can actually outfit ourselves now. Let's go get her a bow. I don't want to get armor just yet, though, because if I remember correctly, there is some armor in the Mithril Mines. So let's just go get her this first. Like, actual Mithril armor, that being said. So, like, I should obviously stress that. There's a Mithril Rod, which we can give for her. Has a little more attack. There's no bow here, though, unfortunately. But I guess there's a Mithril Knife for Eric, so we might as well grab that for him. It's better than the dagger. I'm probably going to find one of those in the cave as well, but, you know, it's okay. We've got it. We have the money. We can just sell the other one. But we don't get another bow! It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Maybe we'll get a Mithril Staff later, too. No, actually, probably a Mithril Staff we won't have access to, because I think instead of having access to a Mithril Staff, you get access to Elemental Staves next, so... Excuse me. You have a very active imagination, don't you, sir? First you're dooming and despairing, now you're looking for places to haunt? Okay. Alright, listen. Okay, so here's the distinction. Now, bronze bracers everybody can equip, but for the most part from now on in the game, melee classes can equip gloves, and magic classes can equip bracers. Now, this screen only shows you the physical defense from these, so it looks like the gloves are just better. The magical defense on bracers is better than the physical defense, and vice versa for the gloves. So the gloves probably have 3 defense and 2 magic defense. The bracers will have 2 defense and 3 magic defense, so there you go. That's how that works. But, yeah, I'm not going to buy any armor just yet, because if I remember right, the enemies in the Mithril Mines are the same as the enemies that were in the sealed cave, so that means that the holy arrows go back on now, first of all, but second of all, it means we shouldn't have too many problems fighting the enemies, so. Also, I think we can buy fire now, so. Feel the horror of being on a schedule yourself. Why can't you just sleep in a cave all day and bite the things that disturb you? I mean, Spiders George does that, but I get the feeling Spiders George is only barely getting by eating 10,000 spiders a day. So, but yeah, we can buy fire now. I don't think you get it anywhere else, so might as well just buy it and give it to Refia. She will be pretty good with all of this stuff, though, so... let's see. So, let's remove that, and then learn that, and then that. It automatically sorts itself in my inventory. That's funny. And looks like everybody's got all their level 1 magic now, except for Ingus, but... Unfortunately, the third level 1 white magic spell isn't available for a little while yet. It's used to, I think if I remember correctly, it's the Sight spell, which lets you view the world map, but you don't get access to it for a little bit, because they have to, there's an item that does the same thing, and they have to make that item useful by not giving you the spell that corresponds to it for a little while, so you know how that goes. Alright, the Mithril Mines. Sid, you and the 4 of us, let's see what we can do in here. Oh, they're not the same enemies. They're upgraded skeletons. Okay, and they're back attacking me. That's fun. Should be fine, though. It's a little damage, but I can cure it off. Also, I'm in the front row, so that means Eric gets full damage out of this, so that's a good thing. Yeah, you know what? I'll have him help Lunathelp. Because Refia can probably take one herself. Maybe not, because it's an upgraded version, but that's okay. I'm casting Cure, so I'm too busy. Yeah, it's only a couple of screens in here. We won't have too far to go, so... Okay, well, at least nobody's turns were wasted. Nice. And we'll get some job levels out of this as well. Looks like Lunith and Refi are going to get theirs, and then Eric and Ingus will get theirs afterwards, so... Huh. It's a dead end. I could have sworn there was treasure in here. Let's look closer. Ah. Yeah. Sparkly spot. Is that unmined mithril by the entrance? Left in case none is found deeper in, or just dumb? I don't know, honestly. It might be unmined mithril. I mean, probably... They know that there's monsters in these mines, so they're like, let's just leave an extra little source for ourselves, just in case it's like, well, we can't get in because there's a particularly tough brand of skeleton that's blocking the way. Now we have access to something we can smith a weapon with to break through that thing, you know? So maybe it's just smarter mining rather than harder mining. I don't know. That would be my guess, anyway. I didn't get the cure last battle, so let's do that again. When I was a child, I yearned for the mines. I yearned for the mines not too long ago myself. I played through Final Fantasy XII off-screen for the stream because I was so bored with Pokemon Violet that I had to play something else. And I played... well, okay, so I got to the post-game. And normally in the post-game, it's like, okay, well, go do, you know, whatever, and then eventually go back to the Lusu mines and the Henna mines, and... I went straight to the Henna mines and fought Zodiark as, like, my second post-game boss. I was, like, level 57 or something. I started the cave at, like, level 53. The enemies were so strong that they got me to level 57 by the time I got to the back of the cave. I yearned for Stacy's mom. Oh, God. That's a heck of a reference. That was a long time ago. I remember that song. I guess it wasn't that long ago, though. Nice mithril knife there, Eric. Let's see if we can get you a shield. I actually don't remember what's in these chests. It might literally just be like 2 mithril swords and that's it, so... This is a Minecraft reference in case schooling kept you away from it? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, if it's from the Minecraft movie, I didn't see the Minecraft movie, so I've been just way too busy to see any of that stuff. But, yeah. So, thank you for making the reference if it is that, because I definitely didn't see it, so... To this day, you have no clue what a gun cat is? Yeah, good question. I got nothing for you. I keep exploding my enemies before they, before I can cure. So let's just cure first and then explode my enemies after this. So. Oh, I saved some sanity. Was the movie that insane? Oh boy. See if I can steal Gil from these guys. Nah, no such luck. I guess they're literally are all the Gil. Like they're physically all the Gil. So. Would make sense. Oh, I wonder if the, now that I think about it, because if I remember correctly, the bracers have another feature to them, like when you equip bracers, so I wonder if the mithril bracers have that feature. They start to raise your intellect and mind stats, because they're primarily used by mages, so... The freaking villager on Earth subplot, oh god. They got them into the real world? Oh, that's great. Sir, this is supposed to be a video game. You didn't even watch it, but you know. You know, actually, you know, now that I think about it, because I think I might have talked about this before, but I don't remember. I might have said it, and I might have not. There were kids at the school just walking around shouting chicken jockey at each other. Is that from the movie as well, or what? Like, I don't know if I should be asking, because I don't even know if YouTube would know that, but, like... That's... Because they... I'm trying to remember, because I definitely stopped playing Minecraft before the chicken jockey was a thing that was in the game, but if it was from the movie, I guess it would make sense that they're just running around shouting at, like, inanely at each other, so... It was just really weird, because it's like... I mean, I guess if that's funny to you, maybe I'm just too old, I don't get the sense of humor anymore. There wasn't a secret object in any of these poles, was there? No, doesn't look like it. Okay. Oh, Chicken Jockey's a Jack Black thing, like Flint and Steel or I Am Steve? Okay, gotcha. Didn't know he commandeered those catchphrases. Alright, well, fair enough. The only one I heard was Chicken Jockey, so, yeah. Do I want to get into one more fight before we go? How close am I to a level? Probably not that close. Yeah, not that close, okay. And I think everybody's job level 3 right now, so... Well, okay, there we go. I'll get into a battle anyway. And a preemptive strike at that, so I can... do some random stuff and actually get the cure off. Looks like Ingus is the slowest party member out of everybody. At least for now, anyway. So I'll just keep that in mind for later. You'd think that Eric would be the fastest, considering he's in the Thief class, but I don't think that becomes true until, like, you get out of the single-digit levels. So... It is an infectious vocal stim, very nasty brain rot stuff. Okay, yeah, well, maybe that's part of it, honestly. Like, I don't know. I mean, there's, like, songs that I remember from when I was a kid that would probably qualify as brain rot to some people now, but, like, I don't know, a lot of the brain rot nowadays, it just doesn't rot my brain. Maybe I just have too much to think about, actually, that it just... I've got too much nutrition information I have to store up here now to clog my head with things like chicken jockey, I guess. I don't know. And I wouldn't worry about it if everybody's kind of like disjointed on their job levels, like if some people get it in one battle, some people get it in another. It's not really a huge deal. Especially in this particular case, because we'll be switching out of all of these jobs by later in the game. Some of them are somewhat viable, at least in the end game. As a matter of fact, I'd say all of them are at least somewhat viable in the end game, but, well, white mages and black mages can't cast level 8 black magic or white magic, so... And that's some of the best stuff in the game, so, you know, they're okay, but they're not great. Also, they're starting to get level 2 magic. You see that? They've got charges for level 2 now. Not that we have level 2 magic, but that's a good thing. It means our levels are sustaining themselves. Also, I think I literally just got 2 mithril swords out of that cave rather than any other mithril equipment, so let's sell those and everything else I don't need, and then just get on that mithril equipment grind. So it's not even a grind, I can get it right now. Unfortunately, they don't give you a boost for selling items in bulk like they do for buying them in bulk, but, well, there you go. I'll keep the White Slayer. It might be useful in a little while. Also, I'll keep the wooden arrows, because they might be useful by comparison to the holy arrows if the enemies aren't particularly weak to holy. And just sell both of these, because I'm literally going to have Lunith strapped with a bow for the rest of the game, so... Yeah, we don't need those. Is that everything? I don't think so. There's probably some armor down here, too. Yeah, okay, there we go. I'm not going to use the bronze knuckles, because I'm not going to have a monk in this playthrough. We used one in Final Fantasy 1, so I figure we might as well switch to something else. And we had snow in Final Fantasy 13. And I was a monk in 14, so let's use something other than a monk, how about? We'll get rid of the leather shield, because we won't need that, and, yeah, any of the leather equipment. And the vest. I don't know if you can get the vest anywhere else, though, so if you're, Yeah, I don't think you can get the vest anywhere else in the game, though, so if you're planning on, you know, having one of each item or something like that, it might be worth it to keep that if you're, like, playing the game that way. I don't play the game that way, but hey, that doesn't mean other people can't, so... The what Slayer? Yeah, exactly. The what Slayer? Honestly, the real scoop on the movie is that they mostly putz around, and the identity of Minecraft is heavily warped by the artistic direction, despite some genuine efforts in the production. Oh, okay, gotcha. That sounds like most Hollywood movies about video games, quite honestly, so... Hate to say that, but usually it holds true, so... Oh, you can actually equip a full-on piece of mithril armor. Wow, okay. So, I'll take that. I'm referring to Eric, by the way, because I didn't expect a thief to be able to equip plate armor, but well, there you go. Mithril shield, Lunith won't need that, so we'll just give that to Eric as well. It's funny, he's my thief, and Eric is quickly becoming my most defensive character. That's cool, I guess. Okay, so we'll get 2 pairs of mithril gloves. I should get a mithril helm for Lunith as well, because I don't think armor weight has any effect in this game. I should have mentioned that earlier, but because that was such a big thing in Final Fantasy II. But as far as I know, in this game, armor weight doesn't have any effect on you. So I think they just got rid of that mechanic because they were like, nah, this is just kind of limit what people wear, so let's not limit it when they've got all these jobs, and some of the jobs can use better armor than others, you know? So... Alright, well, we can't buy arrows yet, so I'll just switch to the wooden arrows for now, because we might need those holy arrows for later. Get some mithril equipment on. Look at that, 17 defense. Now, excuse me. You also can't see your magic defense from the equipment menu, which is a little silly if you want to ask me, but there's our magic defense, so 17-7 with the mithril equipment that we have. And then, if we equip Eric, we can see the full amount. If we So 20 defense, and then probably like 8 magic defense. Oh, 10! Wow, that's a lot. Okay, I'll take that. That's about as much as my mages are going to have in a second, because we've got Mithril Bracers for them, and then Mithril Bracer for you. And let's see, it probably won't be 10. 6 and 6. But yeah, so the Mithril Bracers start the trend of regular Bracers by increasing Intellect and Mind by 1 for both of them, so... And since they'll pretty much be wearing bracers for the rest of the game, that's basically a permanent stat boost. So that's kind of nice, actually. Thank you, Grok. There you go. Please at least let a Zelda or Metroid movie mesh better with a movie format. It almost certainly won't, short of a miracle. Well, never say never, but we'll see, won't we? Isn't like there a Zelda movie in development or something like that? I remember seeing something about how they like cast an actor for it or something. I could be misremembering though. But yeah, I'll hold on to that for now. Get rid of that. Won't need these. Still have a couple of those equipped, but that's okay. Don't need these bracers anymore. They were so important like an hour and a half ago, and now they're just not. Alright, but anyway, I think we're pretty well stocked and equipped with everything, so... and we have the folding canoe and our key items, so that's a good thing. Yeah, I think we're all set and ready to go. The only thing I can think is maybe to go buy a couple items from the inn, but I don't think we can buy Phoenix Downs just yet, so... Yeah, I think we're good. Let's see. Make sure I'm at max MP. We are at maximum MP, which means since we're all ahead full and we've got ourselves kitted out with mithril equipment from Kazus, we should be ready to go break that rock and make it to Sid's home in Canaan on the next episode of Final Fantasy III, the Stream Edition, which will be happening on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Yeah, sorry, I have to. I can only do at least realistically 2 streams a week right now while I'm working, but that won't last forever. It only lasts until the week of August 3rd. I'm getting a halfway decent paycheck for the 3 weeks of work I'm doing, so hey, it's not a bad thing, even though it's temp work. But it's not really temp work because I'm working for the same place I work for during the academic year, so it's kind of just extending my payroll to make sure I don't have to refill it when the school year starts again. But that's all bullshit PR stuff, so it doesn't matter. Either way, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you checking out the stream, and I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be on Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Until then, everybody, take care, and have a good one. Oh, there was, but you thought it was an indie project? Okay, gotcha. Live-action Legend of Zelda movies in development, directed by Wes Ball and produced by Shigeru Miyamoto and Avi Arad. This movie is scheduled for release on May 7th, 2027. Google. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so probably don't know any voice actors, or not voice actors for it yet, but like actual actors for it yet, if it's that far away, but maybe we'll see. I don't know. 27, I'll be dead of dying by then. Well, what am I, chopped liver over here? I'm gonna stop the stream and I'm literally just gonna turn to dust. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.